have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Progressive has great customer service, and it's easy to reach us because great and easy is the way to be. Like salads. Great for you, and so easy you can put any group of veggies in a bowl and it's a salad. A full carrot with a head of cabbage? Weird, but still a salad. 1 radish and a couple of green beans? Also a salad. 14 blueberries, half an onion, and a sunchoke? Odd, yes, but an odd salad. So contact Progressive's customer service by phone, app, or online. It's great and easy, just like salad. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. This afternoon, very light cloudy skies. It's warm and a little bit more muggy, 83 degrees. We'll see a low of 64 tonight. Overnight tonight, some showers and thunderstorms, maybe even a lingering sprinkle tomorrow morning. And then late tomorrow afternoon and evening, another round of storms with a high of 79.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 516 points to 41,630. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org. This hour of the drive brought to you by Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Deep River wants you to fight the clay invasion. Come shoot down clay targets at Deep River Sporting Clays and Shooting School. Visit deepriversportingclays.com.
Now Ovechkin will get one out in front, and an opportunity, and Strome was right there, denied by Anderson. Canes come up with it, with a chance, they score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1. Behind the net, Martinook, it'll come out, right point, Slavin with a chance, they score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Thursday, but it's not just any Thursday. It's game 2, game day.
Let's go.
Of a Thursday. That's Dennis Cox producing the show. I'm Tim Donnelly, and it is a hockey night in Carolina, although the game will be taking place in Washington, D.C. Canes lead the series over the Caps 1-0. Going into game 2, they want to build off of game 1. And they should be prepared for a defiant pushback from Washington. That's what I'm fairly confident about. Is that an 0-2 hole for Washington feels like a death certificate for Washington. Now, if I'm Carolina, I don't think a 2-0 lead you count it as anything, but it certainly feels the other way for them. So they will fight like it is a must-win game. They will fight. They'll dig deeper. They'll find something more than they had in game 1. Game 1 was hard, but game 2 will be harder. And that's the beauty of the playoffs. That's why you do it. That's why you do it. Rod Brindamore spoke to the media yesterday, and he talked about the ability they had to win Game 1, despite, obviously, on the road not being able to control matchups as well.
I think every coach goes into the game, okay, maybe I'll play this line against that line, but at this stage of the season with the teams that are left, it's probably less of a big deal. You know, everybody's got good players, and there's really no real weaknesses, so I think the matchups become less of a big deal, if that makes sense. So, I mean, obviously you have certain guys you'd like to see out there against other guys, but like I said, at this time of year, everyone's got to be able to play.
Everybody's got to be ready to play. And that's part of what I think is the secret sauce for the Canes. Not just the depth, but the fact that kind of anybody can grab the bull by the horns, so to speak. You can have a stretch where somebody like Stankoven is buzzing and is kind of dominating the game, or you can have a stretch where one of your established stars, like Jacob Slavin, dominates the game, and they can alternate and find a way. Now, here's where it's tough as a member of the team or a fan of the team that wins Game 1. In the manner that they did. I'll put it this way. I was a guest on a DC radio station today previewing, right? Just like we have people to preview the other team. I jumped on 106.7 up there in DC, and I genuinely had this thought going into the interview. How almost openly honest do I want to be about Game 1? Because if I talk honestly about how I felt about Game 1, it really sets up them as a station to have the clip from the Canes guy that's, you know, they play if and it's a big if, the Caps can turn some things around. Because if I speak honestly about Game 1, domination, right? We said it yesterday on our network where it's a little bit safer. 33 and some odd minutes of possession in the offensive zone, the out-shooting numbers, the quite frankly, dominance across multiple different aspects of the game, that is unbelievable. But it's also unbelievable about Game 1. And you start to wade into interesting territory if you think that sort of thing automatically translates. Because Game 1 does lead into Game 2. You want to build off of it, but nothing you did in Game 1 guarantees you anything in Game 2. Something like out-physicling, right? Because that was the theme going in. I don't know if that's even a verb. But
we'll take
it. Going into the series, that was the like cliff notes of this series, right? It was physicality against speed. It was big brutes against finesse, right? That was the over like the national outlook on this series. Now we knew better, and I would say Caps fans probably knew better as well. But the Canes were the more physical team in Game 1. That's a great opening statement. Love it. That out hitting them is unbelievable. But you got to do it again. And that's part of it, right? You can't come out and assume that, oh, we really beat them up in that first one. Now we're the physical. No, you got to do it again. Martinook, that's obviously Jordan Martinook, some would say the heart and soul of the team, spoke to the media yesterday and talked about the hits and how they had the puck a lot and still found a way to tally up those hits. Here's Martinook.
We play a lot in the O-zone, and that's obviously a strength of our team is you're playing offensive in the offensive zone, and usually when you have the puck, you're not throwing as many hits, and for the most part when we're on it, we have the puck more than the other team, and that's why maybe we don't hit as much. But I think when you get into playoffs, every team's thinking you can wear guys down or just make people second guess a decision if you're and it's not like we're going out trying to make huge hits every shift. It's just try and take a piece here, take a piece there, and that's playoff hockey. Every team's trying to do the same thing.
Listen, there is a first of all a trust that has to be in Rod Brindamore, and I have full trust. By the way, do you know what we're celebrating today, Dennis?
What's that?
the 7-year anniversary of Rod Brind'Amour being named the head coach of Carolina.
That's right.
It was May 8th, 2018.
Look at that.
Isn't it a coincidence that's also when the Canes started winning again? What a coincidence! Right around the same time, those two things happened.
Weird.
So there is, for me at least, an ultimate trust in Rod Brind'Amour. But you have to walk the line behind if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Game 1 was awesome, and making the proper adjustments and changing or going further down paths of what you did well. Right, like it's not going to be the exact same. Although if you could get the same flow, the same tempo, the same style, then you would. It's just not going to be that easy because Washington's going to make their adjustments. And then I don't know if we talked about this enough yesterday, so I want to make sure we hit it kind of right at the top of the show today. Do you know what was an underrated part of Game 1? Freddie faced 14 shots. Right? The shots on goal discrepancy was talked about a lot, but usually it came from the angle of how often the Canes were testing the other end, right? How many shots they were able to get on goal, and 6 guys with at least 3 shots on goal, and even Slavin had 5 shots on goal. That's where it came from. But 14 for Freddie?
In an overtime game.
In an overtime game. That needs to be talked about. And right, the other reason why that stood out to me is in that same interview, the Caps hosts asked me, hey, Freddie faced 14 shots. Do you see that happening again? And I was like, no. Not because I don't love the blue line of the Canes, not because their system isn't awesome, not because they don't possess the puck, but because 14 is really difficult to do. Right? Anything that's that dominant is very unlikely to happen back-to-back, so Freddie's going to have to be better. And the blue line's going to have to work just as hard, even if they're giving up a few more shots, and have that amnesia and all the other things that you need out of your defense. Game 1 was awesome, and is it setting us up for a down? I don't think so. Not if the Canes keep building off of it. But that's where the culture and everything we talk about with the Canes has to shine through. An inexperienced team, or inexperienced might not be the right word, an immature team would watch Game 1 and then high-five each other and show up dead to Game 2 on the road. And by the way, going 1-1 on the road in a Stanley Cup playoff series is already good. So you've solidified that, but you can't ever think that you've solidified something good. It's that mind game that's going to be fun to see them navigate.
I always say, the pressure's on Washington. If I'm Carolina, I'm making them feel that pressure even more as the seconds tick away, because they don't want to come to Raleigh down 2-0. Make them feel the pressure every time they step on the ice.
And then, right, the next step is once you make them feel that pressure, be ready for them to lash out in every direction. And be ready to keep your emotions in check, because they will feel their life bleeding from their very eyes.
If they do that, I say good.
No, I
agree. Means you got them exactly where you want them.
I 100% agree. You just can't stoop, right? You can't stoop to their level. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really fun game. You'll be able to hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Matter of fact, we'll take you up to 6 o'clock, pass it right back off to Adam Gold, who just passed it to us. He'll take you up for the hour of Storm Watch right up to puck drop at 7. We are very much looking forward to tonight's game, so much so that I'm going to ask you who you think is Mr. Game 2 when we come back. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I don't know if you all have been outside today, but it's an absolutely gorgeous day. Do not be surprised if you see more motorcycles out there on the road. And by the way, the month of May is Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month. So as a driver, make sure you're cognizant of all your blind spots. Make sure you don't follow motorcycle riders too closely. Motorcycle riders, guess what? We don't have 4 walls and crumple zones to protect us in case there is an accident. So we always have to make sure we are smart out there on the road as riders. But again, as a motorcycle rider, do everything in your hands that you can control to make sure you are safe out there on the road. But if you are in an accident, make sure you call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800 Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan asks, who's Mr. Game 2? Prior to Game 1, we had already decided Logan Stankoven was going to be Mr. Game 1. He scored a goal. Who is going to own tonight and be the spark the Canes need? You can answer that question in our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan. Search for it on YouTube. You can send it to us on Twitter, or you can just wait for our response. Stick around. It's coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
All right, now that we got that warm and fuzzy welcome back series over with New Jersey, it's now time to dig deep, folks, and find your best, bless your heart, for the Washington Capitals. This is going to be a rough series. Get ready. A roller coaster ride is coming, and remember, you don't have to cheer Ovi. He's already got the record.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun-fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Mark your calendar, May 9th at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. North Carolina FC battles Orange County SC in a high-energy showdown. Tickets start at just $22, and they're going fast. Get yours now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com.
Now it'll come out in front, a chance, and getting across is Markstrom Svechnikov. Now another chance, he scores! A power play goal! Sebastian Aho ties it at 2 in New Jersey.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Game 1 for the Carolina Hurricanes against the Caps. Started off, they were playing very well. Some would say dominating even the first period. Yet they found themselves down 1-0. And that was until Logan Stankoven scored a goal. And Stanky, we had already established if he scored in Game 1, we were going to call him Mr. Game 1 because he had a pair of goals in Game 1 against the Devils, his first playoff game with the Canes. He now has 3 playoff goals with the Canes, all 3 coming in the 2 game ones. We said he's Mr. Game 1.
Mm-hmm.
So Stankoven sparked him in a way in game 1. The good part of that is he's a rookie that is establishing himself as a playoff performer. The bad news of that is what you're going to hear from Rod Brindamore right here as he talked to the media earlier today, which is game 1 doesn't matter now. It's all about game 2.
That game's done. It's not going to have any impact on this game. So we have to just come have our game plan and try to execute it. And I don't. Done is done. We got to try to go out and obviously win this game the best way we can and see how it turns out.
Game 1 doesn't matter. It's all about game 2. So who's going to spark game 2? Right? If the spark from game 1 doesn't matter anymore, who's going to spark game 2? I have an answer here, and I did a little bit of research, but Dennis, I know you have an answer as well.
Okay.
Who are you going with?
Sebastian Aho.
Do you want to give your reasoning?
In 15 career game 2s, he has scored points in 13 of those. 7 goals, 14 assists, 21 points. Carolina has won 10 of those 15 games. Even games away from Raleigh, 6 games played away from Raleigh, he has 1 goal, 8 assists. And the Canes are 3-3 in those games, but 2 of those losses have come in overtime. So he has produced both away and at home and in game 2s. Way better than a point per game. Again, 21 points in 15 games on game 2s. Yes, Mr. Game 2, Sebastian Aho.
Do you know what we also learned in researching this conversation about Aho? He is a jabber. I don't know. He feels out the series in game 1s. His production, his goal scoring, especially in game 1s, is a little bit lighter. He's kind of, and this is the way I looked at it, he's kind of the point guard that's like making sure everybody else gets going, and then he's like, all right, now I can take care of myself. And by game 2, he's ready to roll, right?
He's going to sit back and watch, study y'all.
Yeah, and in a series, how important is that to have a high hockey IQ guy kind of feeling it out and figuring it out and then attacking? So I like it. I'm going with Mr. Martinook. I'm going with Jordan Martinook.
Okay.
So obviously he's not going to have a goal as often in game 2s as Aho. But if you look at a lot of his best playoff games do come in game 2s. First of all, game 2 against the Devils, he dominated. He scored a goal, had an assist, and from the hustle side of the game, he was everywhere. He was throwing his body around. He was, I believe, high in hits over since 5 years ago or something for Martinook. It was a big game 2 against the Devils. Last year, he scored a goal in game 2 against the Islanders. Year before, again against the Devils, he had a goal and an assist in game 2. Martinook seems to wake up in game 2. So I'm throwing Martinook out there. And by the way, I understand Aho will likely have a bigger impact on most games, right? Just because of the nature of who he is and how he plays and the situations he gets put in. But when you're looking at the others, somebody like Martinook scoring a goal or putting up multiple points, that's something that it doesn't have to be Martinook, but you're going to have to get those others in the production. And that's kind of getting into what I was talking about at the beginning of the show, which is the reason this is, I think, a fun exercise, and depending how it goes for today, we may keep it up as the playoffs go along, all right, establishing who kind of owns each game and seeing if there's a trend. But the reason I think it's a cool exercise is because it truly could be one of 8 or 9 guys, right? I'm not, no disrespect, maybe not Eric Robinson, although if he wants to, go nuts, right? Maybe not some of these guys that are just going to be asked not to be on the ice as often, but you can have Sebastian Aho in game 1, feel it out, play very well, but not be as aggressive. And there are enough other guys who can put their imprint on it, and you can still win the game. Those other guys are crucial for this series. I genuinely, and not just the goal, I thought Stankoven was great in a lot of ways for stretches in game 1. I think he changed the tone of the series, obviously with the goal, but also his fearlessness and his willingness to get in front of the goal and his playing bigger than his size, I think, helped set the tone for what ended up being a big win. And in a weird way, I'll even include things like Slavin having as many shots on goal and scoring a goal in kind of the production from the others. Obviously, he's not another. He's one of the stars of the team, one of the stars of the league, but the offensive production that he brings does feel like bonus. Right? When you're as good defensively as he is, anything he brings to the other end of the ice feels like it's just gravy. It's icing, right? It's extra. It's surplus. You know, and especially, right, like Ovechkin had one shot on goal yesterday. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't have more than that, right? If he doesn't make it a point to find his shot and find lanes. But, yeah, like so is Jarvis, right? like the scorers on each team, the leading goal scorers are going to be there. Who can get the production from elsewhere is oftentimes what these games come down to, especially if it's close like it was in Game 1. So if Aho's Mr. Game 2, that's awesome, and I'll never, ever complain about Aho having a great day. But if we come in tomorrow and we're talking about Mr. Game 2 is somebody unexpected, I think that's a good sign that the Canes probably won the game. Because I keep saying it. Aho, his floor is very high.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good even when it's not obvious. And there's a few, like I think Jarvis is that way. I thought Jarvis was pretty good, and he hit the post a couple times, so we did notice that. But those guys can impact the game whether they're finding their own shots or not. Some of the other guys, a goal multiplies their impact by 1 billion.
One name we haven't mentioned that could be a great Mr. Game 2. Wouldn't hurt if Andrei Svechnikov was a Mr. Game 2 tonight.
Yeah.
I would not hate that.
I wouldn't hate if he's like Mr. Round 2 and Mr. Round 3.
Yeah, there's that.
Svech, and by the way, it is a first goal scorer prediction day, so it's a good time to tease that. Be ready at 4:33, almost exactly an hour from now, on to let us know who will be the first goal scorer of the game. I did put out a tweet earlier today, this morning, asking that, and I can tell you there are some, unlike in Game 1 where it felt very spread out, there are a couple names being mentioned significantly more. Svech is one of them. There are quite a few fans out there that think if you hit the post twice, you deserve a goal in the next game, which is both Svech and actually Jarvis. And there are a lot of Jarvis, but Svech definitely more. And I get it, right? We all wish the hockey gods were a benevolent bunch, a fair and just organization. Unfortunately, in my history, maybe they're a little bit more finicky than that. But it would feel like karmic justice if Svech scored early. As a tone setter, because I think he was a bit of a tone setter in Game 1 and didn't have the goals to show it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up and more about Game 2, obviously. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Whether you have needs in the plumbing, electric, cooling, heating aspect of your home, your house, you can call Maynard Service Company, right? They are not I don't like saying they're a do-it-all, because that implies kind of jack of all trades, master of none. They are individually masters of every different system. They just combine to make up this like transformer group of Maynard Service Company, right? They have technicians that are highly trained, highly skilled. They have in-house training for all of them. So it's when I say do it all, it's not do it all pretty well. It's individually heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, dominate your field. It's kind of the way I look at it. Right now, it is a great time to start thinking about cooling maintenance. We know it's about to get hot. We know we're about to lean on the AC a little bit more than we have been. So little maintenance check, little spot check from Maynard Service Company could save you a big headache down the road. So give them a call. They can come out now. 24/7 service all across the triangle. The number is 919-361-0993. Let them know you heard about it here on The Drive. 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. Dean's List is coming up next, and more. Stick around.
Marcy Bailey here to remind you that Mother's Day is right around the corner. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with something sparkly wrapped up in a Bailey box. We've curated an amazing Mother's Day gift guide with beautiful jewelry for every style and budget. Shoppable at BaileyBox.com. We also have all the top designers like David Yurman, Lagos, and Hippolyta, along with our highly sought-after Bailey's collections. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best jeweler from the Triangle to the coast.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night? Worried about your finances in these crazy times? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. If you're like most people, you have racked up a sizable amount on your credit cards, and the monthly payment is not making a dent in it. It's time to call Loan Pronto. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Call Loan Pronto for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. We're close to crowning a hockey champion, and when I'm not calling playoff games around the country, the first thing I do when I'm back in the Triangle is head to Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet, and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, like half-price pizzas, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and a $6 Bloody Mary on Sunday. Dine in, carry out, get it delivered. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
We'll get it to Hall. Hall has it knocked away. Bouncing puck. Canes come up with it with a chance. They score! Logan Stankoven buries it, and the Canes have tied this at 1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We will obviously be returning to the topic of Game 2 between the Canes and the Caps tonight throughout the show. 7 o'clock puck drop. Dennis, should I use our favorite term?
What's that?
It does feel like a pivotal Game 2.
Oh, pivotal. It's absolutely it's pivotal.
Every game is pivotal. Every lead is commanding, right? In the pivotal game, too, the Canes can take a commanding 2-0 lead. With the NBA and NHL playoffs going on simultaneously, you know how the sales for Mariah Carey music and Michael Bublé music spike in the 3 weeks right before Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
The usage of the term pivotal and commanding during this exact portion where you have two different playoffs that use 7-game series. Oh, man. Pivotal.
Stave?
Yeah. Stave off.
Stave
off's a good one. Stave off is a very good one. There are certain terms that we only use when it comes to a 7-game series. Guess what? Every game is pivotal in a 7-game series. Every single one. They'll tell you. But it is a pivotal game, too. And it is a commanding 2-0 lead that could potentially be earned by the Carolina Hurricanes. So we will keep returning to that to that conversation. But right now, we have to go ahead and ring the bell. Class is in session for the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we highlight those in the college sports world, somehow related to college sports, that deserve a little extra praise. We'll start with, Dennis, I don't know if you saw the big news. Villanova.
Oh.
Villanova, 100% on the Dean's List.
Oh, your rival?
Yes. 2 reasons. One, there's 3 of them that are absolutely balling out on the Knicks right now.
Okay.
There's Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, who won a national championship at Villanova. Now they're ripping the hearts out 1 game at a time of the Boston Celtics. But also, they announced the new Pope, and apparently he's a Nova grad.
Okay.
I don't know. So it just seems like Nova's having a moment, right? It's like everything's everywhere I look. And as a Delaware grad, and Villanova was our rival, you notice when they just keep popping up, and it's like, wait a second, how does Villanova keep ending up here? And then there's little things like revenue share is about to happen. Villanova doesn't really have to spend money on their football team because they're no good. So they get to spend extra money on their basketball team and outspend everybody else. The things are popping up Villanova. I don't like it very much. But at least it's nothing to do with their football squad.
Is the Pope generating to the NIL fund? Is that what?
Well, the reason why I threw the Pope in here is I think it's true. It looked like some of the screenshots were real. I didn't check before, but apparently since this Pope was named, like this afternoon or whatever it was, Villanova's odds to win the national championship the Knicks' odds to win the NBA championship have significantly shortened. So they're going like, well, Villanova guys are on that team, new Pope. I mean,
nothing to do with the 2-0 series lead.
Let's go.
New Pope.
Let's go smash that bet button. Don't want to be betting against? Nah, I don't know. Do you have a Dean's List you want to throw out there?
I was actually going to throw out college graduations are starting to take place, even including this weekend. So just shout out to all the college grads.
Working hard.
I know, for real. I know Travis Hunter, the second overall pick. I didn't realize he was actually a 2-time academic All-American.
2-time academic All-American.
He's like a 3.7 GPA.
I believe he only had 1 year at Jackson State, correct?
Yeah.
So he graduated from Boulder in 3 years.
Yeah.
It's a good job. It's impressive.
Finishing your college degree in 3 years is impressive in and of itself.
And then doing that while dealing with everything he had to deal with. Jacksonville just got a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they traded up. More Dean's List. Duke softball. They're playing, I think, right now. Let me see how they're doing in the semifinals of the ACC tournament. Let's see here. What day is today? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm on their schedule. I thought they were playing today. The reason why I threw them on here is ESPN put out their end of regular season softball top 25, and Duke was in there at 20th. Fourth team in the ACC on the list, but they were in there at 20th. I thought they played today at 1:30, and I meant to check before we got here. But hey, either way, your regular season was solid. 20th in the final top 25 for ESPN.
They're playing number 16 Stanford. I'm actually pulling up that score right now for you, Tim.
They might have been 5th in the ACC. I'm not sure I counted Stanford because old habits die hard.
Duke won 7-0.
Boom!
Let's go.
That's why I had them on the Dean's List. I knew they were going to dominate.
Duke was the 4 seed in the ACC, Stanford the 5 seed in the ACC. 7-0. Let's go.
Boom! Mess with the triangle. get probably like slap bunted until, you know, softball. I don't know how you talk trash in softball. I know they do a lot of cheers from the dugout.
Dean's List, Duke pitcher for softball, Danny Drogmuller. 7 innings, shutout softball. Only 4 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts. Let's go.
Boom. More Dean's List. Marie Madsen, NC State women's golf.
Okay.
Freshman made program history by winning the NCAA Charlottesville Regional. 5 under the score. She is the first Wolfpack player to advance to the NCAA championships since 2008. And let me reiterate, she is a freshman. Freshman. I'm jealous of a fresh 5 under. Goodness gracious. And then last one here. Do you have any more you want to throw in here?
I do not.
Okay. I'm going Metallica.
Okay.
Metallica played at Lane Stadium in Blacksburg last night. Blacksburg, obviously Virginia Tech. They played at Lane Stadium, which is the home of the Virginia Tech football team, where they jump up and down to Enter Sandman by Metallica to start every game. I don't hype up other college experiences often here in the Triangle because within like an hour drive of where we sit, you have many of the coolest traditions in college sports. And in our state, for sure, there's an unlimited amount of cool college traditions and atmospheres that you should take in. But I will say Lane Stadium, Enter Sandman, if you can get to Blacksburg for a night game especially, it's cool. It pops. It lives up to the hype. And I can't imagine what it was like to actually have Metallica in that stadium playing. Some of the videos look absolutely insane. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they feel kind of gimmicky. Metallica hasn't always super embraced that. But if they start, it'll be really cool for Virginia Tech. Dennis, what do you think? Is it Cascada or Cascada? Does anybody know?
For Duke?
Yeah, do you think we should get an Every Time We Touch live performance, Cameron Indoor?
I think it's Cascada.
Cascada? They're a German trance and Eurodance trio.
Yeah, I say make it happen.
Cameron Indoor, big game.
Just have them performing during TV timeout or something like that. I'm for it.
See, Metallica, you can't do that because Metallica's a big enough band. They're not going to be like, oh, you're going to give us 2 minutes and 15 seconds while the offense regroups. They're going to need a full performance. But Cascada, I mean, they might be spend a day in the student section or something. Significantly less cool, by the way. No offense, but could be a thing. Just saying. There you go. That's the Dean's List. Let's dismiss it. But let's stay in the college sports world with a little UNC football transfer portal. We've been distracted by Bill Belichick's antics. What do we call it? Off the field news? I don't even know what to call it. His interviews / relationship with his girlfriend.
We've just been distracted by Bill.
By Bill Belichick, which is absurd based on his history of no distractions. But we've been distracted by Bill Belichick, and meanwhile, UNC's been putting together what I think is a very interesting transfer portal class. Now, let's set the tone here, or set the expectations here. When you have a new coach, the first couple of years will be portal heavy. It's no different than what Will Wade, the new head coach of NC State, said at his intro presser or intro media availability, where he was like, we have a plan for how we want to use the portal. Can't do it the first 2 or 3 years because it's just there's turnover and we're making the program ours. Same thing with Belichick. So this might not be how they always do it volume-wise, but I kind of like the lane they're filling while we're all distracted by the tabloids and, oh my goodness, is he really letting his media be decided by this 24-year-old and while TMZ is getting their clicks, UNC has brought in a boatload, at least commitments, from Power 4 transfers. Okay, so these are players that were on rosters in one of the Power 4 conferences, which is, I think, important because that shows a certain level of recruiting pedigree, and usually that comes with raw ability, right? You don't get, even if you're not super productive at your school, you don't get that opportunity unless coming out of high school, size, speed, height, those things were kind of boxes checked. I'm just going to run through them. You don't need to You don't need to go ahead and remember these. You're not going to be quizzed on it. But just the volume of it and kind of the gist of it is what I want you to get. Just today, Inside Carolina reported that Oklahoma State transfer linebacker Jonathan Agumadu committed to the Tar Heels. Yesterday, there's some official signings from Shamar Easter, tight end from Arkansas, Gregory Smith, a safety from Florida. Just within the last week, more signings from Christian Dunbar Hawkins, safety UCLA, Ja'Kai Moore, interior offensive lineman from South Carolina. If you look at just their list of transfers, there's Isaiah Johnson, defensive lineman from Arizona, DeAndre Robinson, defensive lineman from Florida, Joseph Mapui, and I apologize if I get any of these pronunciations wrong, edge from Penn State, Benjamin Hall, running back from Michigan, Adrian Wilson, wide receiver from Colorado, Makai Gabayor, linebacker from Missouri, Dayton Sneed, wide receiver from Tennessee, Smith Vilbert, edge from Tennessee, and I didn't even write them all down. I figured that would be enough for you to get the gist of what I'm trying to show you. And that might be a sweet spot for Bill Belichick once kind of everything settles into equilibrium at UNC. I'll be honest with you, when he took the job, yes, my imagination may have gotten the better of me. And I think for a lot of UNC fans, the same happened. And what I mean by that is you get this idea that everyone that wants to play in the NFL is going to want to play for Bill Belichick to learn what NFL talent evaluators are looking for, because he was an NFL talent evaluator for decades and decades and decades. And he worked with some of the smartest NFL talent evaluators over different parts of time in that decades and decades and decades long NFL career. So your mind jumps to, oh, this first rounder and this guy and that guy and this 5-star are all going to want to play for him, when in actuality, those guys might not need him. Right? If you're a projected first-round pick, sometimes you don't even have to develop as a football player or produce as a football player to end up a first-round pick. Who was the edge rusher that you very much did not want the Panthers to take in the first round?
Shamar Stewart.
Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart didn't need to go out there and have a coach teach him the intricacies of edge rushing so he could pile up sacks to be a first-round pick. All he had to do was be big, tall, strong, and fast and light up the combine, and he was a top half of the first-round pick. Right? He was a player that people couldn't wait to draft. But if you look around the Power 5 or Power 4, there's going to be a ton of players that are good players, that are talented players, that need to level up to make the league, right? That want to make the jump from an undrafted free agent to a third-round pick, that want to make the jump from a fourth-round pick to a second-round pick. Those guys, and by the way, might jump from completely off the NFL radar to just on the radar, right? They just want to have the opportunity to live out a dream. Those are the guys that need Belichick.
Get that camp invite.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the guys that need Belichick. And Belichick has to have friends in the league, or at least people that respect his opinion, right? There's that call. Like if I show up at UNC and I work my tail off and I'm, crushing it in practice and putting in the extra work, and he sees that, a call from Bill Belichick goes a long way. Hey, just so you know, this kid's flying under the radar a little bit. You should bring him into camp. I think he can help you on special teams. Might develop into something down the line. Do with that what you will. Hang up. That goes a long way. So those are the players that might see Bill Belichick as a massive, massive asset, rather than the ones that we let our imaginations run wild with. Right? It was always, this guy's going to want to play for him, and this 5-star, and this. Well, those guys, they're good, right? They've got agents. They got NIL deals. They're at least they think they're good and don't need Bill. But somebody like, Benjamin Hall, a sophomore running back from Michigan who sat behind other draft picks, is looking around going, I need to figure this out. Maybe Bill can help me. And last thing, football guys. And what I mean by that is players that will come in and go, who cares about coach's girlfriend? I'm here to play football and get to the next level. Is coach distracted? No, I don't care who he's hanging out with. I don't care who's standing on the sidelines at spring practice. I don't care. I'm here to play football. I actually think those players are always kind of the ones Bill Belichick's looking for. During his NFL career, I think the ones that were he didn't even care what you had going on outside, as long as when you stepped on the field, you were able to check it at the door. Right, the Gronks of the world, the Randy Mosses of the world. Whatever you're doing out there, whatever personality you are off the field, as long as you show up to work, you'll be good. Those guys, I think, will fit at UNC. And also, power forward transfers, maybe a little bit extra cash in the NIL. They might just be pricey, and UNC might be spending in a different way. Right, some teams, let's go get 5 guys that are unbelievable. UNC might have looked at their roster and said, all right, we got to take that cash, divide it up a bunch of different ways, and bring in 20 guys rather than 5 top shelf things, right? That's a tale as old as time. I used to hear about, remember where was it? It might have been, I think it was in Charlotte, the Belk Bowl. Remember the Belk Bowl?
Oh, yeah, Belk Bowl. Yeah, it used to be in Charlotte.
Used to be in Charlotte.
It used to be the Continental Tire Bowl before that.
Yeah.
That was the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
When it was Belk, I knew some guys that played in it. They gave you like their bowl gift was like a $1,000 gift card to Belk, and they went and spent it as a team. And the debate was, do you get 10 shirts, 10 10 pairs of shoes, 10s of this, 10s of that, or do you get like one giant lazy boy recliner? Or what? Like it was. Do you that might be what UNC's also doing here, where they were like, we could have afforded one of the best quarterbacks in the portal and just spent all our money on the recliner. But we had more needs than that. So instead we got, 10 pair of jeans, 10 new shoes, 10 of this, 10 of that, and we had to divide it up a little bit more. And they end up with a wide receiver, a linebacker, a couple running backs, bunch of defensive linemen. Like they had to spread it out. Either way, I think the portal class is coming together nicely. And, I never thought this would be the question, but as long as Bill Belichick can put them all together and make it work as a football team, I think they'll be a nice little squad next year. How good? We'll have to wait and see. And there's still more time to add in the portal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We did reference this just a bit during Dean's List. The Boston Celtics have some explaining to do. The Boston Celtics have some explaining to do. I have to admit, did not see Game 2 happening. Game 1 for the Celtics against the Knicks, fine. You get up 20, you take your foot off the gas, you miss some shots. Knicks are a scrappy bunch. They win the game. Game 2, you get up by 20, and the same darn thing happens? Now we have to have some questions. Now we have to look around and go, what's going on here? And the worst part is I defended at least Jason Tatum after Game 1 because I'm going like, it's Game 1. If it happens again, we'll have to revisit all of this criticism of him. And then he said, okay, you need it to happen again. We'll do it. We'll get to the ladder challenge later on. Come on, Jason. Do you know what is the most obvious part about it? Watching the Celtics in that one? And this is, we're as always, when the NHL playoffs and NBA playoffs are going on together, whether you care about the NBA playoffs or not, athlete psychology does kind of go hand in hand, right? So you can learn something from one and move it to the other. So if you're a Canes fan watching the NBA playoffs, there are things you can learn. And I actually think basketball and hockey are really good for that, for comparing not actual play or skill sets or anything, but the mental side. Because it is a game where you play both offense and defense. It is a game where there's continuous motion. There is a game where you're up and down, unlike football where you run one play and then you stop for 40 seconds, or baseball where you just throw a pitch and stop for whatever the pitch clock is. They're more up and down, and they're similar in that way. I watched the Celtics game last night. You could see, almost like if it were a cartoon, you would see steam coming out of their ears and gears cranking in their eyeballs. You could see them stop reacting and start thinking. There was a wide open three in the corner for Jason Tatum where he caught it, and you could almost, like if there were thought bubbles, it would say, okay, I'm open. Let me get the good part of the seams of the basketball. I'm open. Not going to happen again. If I knock this down, the 20-point lead will be good, and we won't be the laughingstock. A jumper, clank. And I went, oh, no. He is so far in his own brain right now, because the good Jason Tatum, and we saw it at Duke, and we've seen it when they won the NBA championship last year, is catch, fire, and it is significantly more smooth. He's one of the smoother guys in the NBA, and it just wasn't. And it's just another example of the psychology, the almost therapist role that a coach or a veteran or somebody has to play throughout a 7-game series multiple times, right? From round 1 to round 2 to round 3 to round 4. Somebody has to be able to snap you back into rhythm. Somebody has to shake you and go like, "Hey man, play basketball," or "Hey, play hockey." Because we've seen hockey players go through it. We've seen the debate that everybody was having about the Canes up until they won in game 1, which is, do they shoot too much? Right? Are they not precious enough with their shot selection? Are they too precious with their shot selection? Are they like, we've seen guys where they go on little slumps and then suddenly they get the puck, they've got the angle, there's the appropriate visual screens, everything was set up for a shot, and they pass it, and we're going, oh no. That something's not clicking with him, because that was 100% a go opportunity, or even if you just dust it off a little too much rather than catching fire, it's like, ooh, I don't like the way he thought about that one. You need someone that can that do whatever it takes, and by the way, everyone is different. Some guys need to be yelled at. Some guys need to be supported, right? Some guys need, "Hey man, you're great. Take the shot next time." Some need, if you don't take that shot, you don't want to see me in the locker room. Like, there's different ways to get you there, but that's why, team sports are awesome. Somebody else can shake you out of it. The issue is when you're like the Celtics, they were all dealing with their own mental hurdles. There was nobody out there that could shake anyone else out of it, because they were all in it. They were in the twilight zone, and it's always dangerous when you get to the twilight zone and see all your other teammates waiting for you there. Uh-oh. There's nobody to get us out of this hole, is there? Celtics were in a bad place. You hope your team never gets there. You lose 2 20-point leads in back-to-back playoff games to the same team at home.
You know what the wild thing was? When they were up 20, they got a turnover and a fast break 2-on-1. I think it was Brown and Tatum. And it was just a bad pass and all stuff. It just goes wide, like, oh, okay, miscommunication. We got it. We're good. This is with 3 minutes left, and they're up 20. 3 minutes left in the third quarter. I was like, you could have built on your lead. But all of a sudden, you missed that one play, and just trickle-down effect from there.
And do you know what there was a lot of? That play, a couple plays later, there was another miscommunication. There was a lot of tapping on their chest. My bad?
Yeah, my bad.
Which is almost too much. Like, they were very obviously trying to say, like, hey, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, hey, we're good. It's like, if you say we're good 37 times, you're probably not. Who are you trying to convince?
Yeah, you're not good.
Trying to convince me, or are you trying to convince you? Because we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Hey, guys, listen up, we're good, we're good, we're good. I didn't think we weren't good till you said we were good 75 times. Now I'm questioning it. That's what the Celtics were dealing with, and you hope your team doesn't get there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. One seemingly surprising news. I don't think everybody should have been surprised, but there was definitely a lot of reaction to it, involving a player being cut from the Panthers, and then one not surprising but sad bit of news from the Panthers. We give you both pieces of news coming up next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent terrain dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Are you ready for a global summer showdown? Thursday, June 19th at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Football legends collide at the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup. Inter Miami and FC Porto. Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba taking on Diogo Costa and Rodrigo Mora. Don't miss your chance to be part of history. Grab your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with my friend Jeff Hoffman from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Windows. Everybody needs them. There are a lot of different styles. Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have a favorite.
You don't have a favorite window?
Do not, but I will confuse you with the bay and the bow window.
Everybody confuses me. That's not hard.
Bow window. It's round, no corners.
Bay window.
Square. Corners. Yes.
But bays are round. I don't know. Don't use me as a guide there. But we have a lot of different choices.
Yes, we do. We got double hung. We have the arch windows, all kinds of different shapes that we can do. We have slider windows, casement windows, and they come in several different colors, a lot to choose from. We'll come out, walk through the project with you, assess any kind of rotten wood, take care of that as well, and then install whatever you choose.
Incredible high-quality windows as well. 800-672-4348. AluminumCompany.com, 800-672-4348, AluminumCompany.com.
At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit FirstCarolinaBank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Mostly cloudy skies for us this afternoon, but warm and a little more muggy. We'll see a high of 83. This evening, a chance of some isolated storms. One or two of those could produce some wind damage. 64, our overnight low. A little cooler tomorrow. Highs in the upper 70s. It'll be mostly cloudy. We'll have a chance of a shower in the morning and some thunderstorms in the evening.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 254 points to 41,368. Market update brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
Jadeveon Clowney, no longer a Panther. There was a kind of flurry of moves for the Panthers, roster moves today, now that they've settled in kind of post-draft. The two most interesting / talked about are Jadeveon Clowney being released, which surprised some. You ready for this? You ready for a little inception? I was surprised that people were surprised. So the surprise level was 2. And then there was the news that Jonathan Brooks, second-round pick from not this most recent draft, last year's draft, running back out of Texas, has been put on the physically unable to perform list, affectionately known as the PUP list, and that means he will not play at all in 2025. That is the least surprising news because he retore his ACL in, week 14 last year, and which makes it his second tear in the last 13 months, like over a 13-month period. So he's not playing this year, which isn't surprising, but it is sad. It is just...
It stinks.
Yeah, it's just meh. That's what that is. I'll quickly address the Jonathan Brooks one before we come back to Clowney, just because I think it's quicker. For Jonathan Brooks, I'm to the point I'm not banking on or planning for any positive contribution on an NFL game football field from Jonathan Brooks. I am hoping for a return to his former self, but I will consider anything he is able to give you on game day from a production standpoint, even if it is in 2026 or 2027. I'm considering that that's bonus. That's pleasant surprise. But I'm making sure my running back room is 100% ready to roll if he never returns to his former self, just because the nature of the two injuries. He's going to have gone, essentially 2.5, 3 years without playing football by the next time he's able to get onto a game field at the earliest. So that right there is enough for me to go, hopefully Trevor Etienne is really good because they drafted him in the 4th round and he's more likely to be available. When it comes to the edge rush, Jadeveon Clowney, he is on the way out. From a personal perspective, that kind of stinks too because he's South Carolina guy. Panthers were his quote unquote hometown team. It was a cool video when he signed last year. Like you could tell there was a connection there, and he liked being around it. But from a football perspective and from what I call windows. Last season, I believe, was a necessity. It was we need NFL players that we can put out there, and there weren't a ton available for the price they were looking for, and it was a business deal, right? It was like, hey, you give us a year, maybe 2, we'll find some time for you on the field, but let's be real, by the time we're ready to compete, your window of being an impact player is going to be likely closed. So this is just kind of you get to stay close to home. We get a guy that we can plug in for a year so we don't have to overwork some guys that are just aren't ready yet. And now they want to go get their guys. And in a lot of ways they have, right? If you look at the top 4 edge rushers for the Panthers right now, I won't put them in order. I'll just read names based on when they were acquired. How about that? DJ Wonnum, Patrick Jones, Nick Scorton, Princely Umanmielen. That is a player that was signed last offseason and then didn't play for the first 6 games, something along those lines. 8 games, and was a decent-sized contract for a free agent. Pat Jones, who was a free agent this year, just a handful of weeks, maybe a couple months ago. And then their 2nd and 3rd round pick in Scorton and Umanmielen. These are Dan Morgan's guys. Right? They were not settling. They were not, hey, we just need to fill a role. These were guys that were picked by Dan Morgan, and I think that makes sense. Right now he's starting to have the roster that he envisioned. When he first took over the roster, there were, let me think, there were 10, 15, 30 holes in the roster, and he only had 15 caps to close them. And he had to pick and choose which ones he capped, and then the rest he had to makeshift away. I think Clowney was part of that makeshift. And then on top of that, the price was prohibitive. If Clowney was the exact player that he is, exact production, exact maybe he had 5.5 sacks, but did a good job stopping the run and kind of run block win rate and some of if he did that exact same stuff but cost a third as much, I don't think he's cut. But the fact of the matter is they could either cut like 3 other dudes or cut Jadeveon Clowney and get that cap savings back and cover a bunch of other, finances. So, there's that going on.
So speaking of that, to the financial part of that, Mike Kay, the Charlotte Observer, put out that it's $7.78 million in cap savings.
That's real
for
money
this year, which covers the cost of that rookie draft class in terms of cap hit for this upcoming year. So by letting Clowney go, who wasn't super productive last year. Allows you to have that cap flexibility to do any of the other stuff that you mentioned. But if you look at Clowney's contract, it was a 2-year, $20 million contract, $8 million at signing bonus. Basically, it was a 1-year deal, and if you exceeded our expectations, we'll keep you around. Maybe we'll even guarantee that money for you. But he was expendable.
And the other thing is, and we've talked about this with other players, they had a plan for the draft. And I believe the plan was if basically Mason Graham, maybe an offensive tackle, I don't know, maybe they were high on Campbell or Membu, and T-Mac, Teteroa McMillan. I think if those 3 or 4 guys were gone by 8, I do think they would have taken an edge rusher. But if one of those 4 were there, they were going to take that person. And then they were betting on their projections for how the draft would go, that they would be able to get edge rushers that they like in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, probably 2 in those 3 rounds. And it worked out, right? They got Scorton, who obviously they like, in the 2nd round, and they got Umanmielen in the 3rd, who obviously they like. And then they get to turn to Clowney and go, yeah, it worked out. We don't need you. If they missed their projection of the draft, right? Because they thought, and Dan Morgan told us on this show when he stopped by a couple of days ago, he said they saw the draft as stacked at outside linebacker and edge all the way through the 4th round. If there was a ridiculous run on edges and they couldn't get their hands on some of that depth, you could have kept Clowney around. But as soon as you draft the 2 in the top 3 rounds, he's now expendable. As far as looking at which players this ups their responsibility, I'm now expecting more from Scorton, because Scorton brings, especially when he's at the top end of his weight, he brings a little bit more stoutness. Umanmielen is more of a speed guy. At least that's what he's been in college. So the most underrated part of Clowney is his edge fit, right, or his run fit. He's people get on about the sack numbers, but the one thing he's always kind of done is graded out well against the run. I think that's where Scorton and DJ Wanham have to be really, really good. And then Jones and Umanmielen will be what they are, which is less of a run. They tend the other way, or trend the other way, I should say, towards being sack artists. So I think it's a vote of confidence for Scorton. I'll tell you that much.
Those 2 rookies are going to have to play in some way, shape, or form now. Can't be like, all right, we're going to rotate you in with Clowney and Wanham and see. Like, no, you're going to have to play a lot more significant snaps now.
And I also, because of Clowney, and I did this with Brent Burns the other day. I love when older guys make news, because then I go look at their draft class and just go guys naming dudes. There are some still making an impact. Like Mike Evans was in that class. Khalil Mack was in that class.
Was that 2011?
No, more recent than that. I think it was like 2013 or 14. I didn't write down which draft it was. But do you know who else was in his class?
Who's that?
Blakey Bortles, Johnny Manziel, Eric Ebron, for my UNC fans out there, was in the same draft class as Jadeveon Clowney.
2014 class.
Ha-Ha Clinton Dix.
Oh, there you go.
Remember Ha-Ha?
There's a name.
Ha-Ha Clinton Dix, the guy with 2 hyphens in his name. Aaron Donald, Kelvin Benjamin for the Panther fans. Taylor Lewan, Devontae Freeman. If you're like, well, he's still got a lot of pop left in his legs, he might. He also usually better to bail 1 year too early than pay a guy 1 year too late. Even if you think he was impactful last year, I say he was solid last year. The other thing I'll give about this is,
so you mentioned Eric Ebron, right?
Yep.
North Carolina.
Yep. Ebron feels like from another generation.
Yeah, I know. Teddy Bridgewater.
Hey, shout out Two Glove Teddy. What was I going to say? The other thing about Jadeveon Clowney, and we did this when the signing took place. Some guys are just this way. He's a really good second fiddle in an edge rush. All of his best sack seasons are when he was opposite somebody who had a bunch more. Whether it was what's the guy's name from the Ravens? Matabuke? That's not right.
Matabuke.
Yeah. There you go. Whether it was him, whether it was Watt, whether it was some of these other guys, his best seasons came when someone else was the main attraction. He was, this past year, for all intents and purposes, like circled on the edge rush scouting report, and I just don't think that fits his game. So if he can hit the market and go find, go play opposite of a more established edge, he could have a big season, and then Panthers fans will be like, why didn't we keep him? Well, it's because it's easier when somebody else is attracting all the eyeballs. He's not as good at, dealing with chips from running backs and everything else. He's good at the one-on-ones. But no, it's he's 30-something years old. Their window, it just makes sense. You wish him luck, send him on his way. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I believe we have a Cup check-in coming up after this.
We do.
We have a Cup check-in coming up after this, presented by Carolina Ale House. But before we can get to that, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, you staying up at night thinking about your bills? Maybe you're worried about your finances in these tough times. Maybe you got a sizable credit card amount that you've racked up over the years. And like most people, maybe you have done that. You've racked up that sizable amount on your credit cards. Maybe the monthly payments you're making just simply aren't making a dent in it. It's time to give Loan Pronto a call. If you own a home, you have a super easy way to get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash. Loan Pronto has lots of options for helping you tap into the equity in your home and get the cash you need to get back on solid footing. Most homeowners who do this end up wiping out all their credit card debt and cutting their monthly expenses by $1,000. Look, you didn't mean to end up here, but you don't have to keep stressing about money. Give Loan Pronto a call for fast debt relief now. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Again, the website, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a Cup check-in with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House, coming up, and we'll play a Game 2 version of Hurricanes and Cons. What are you most confident in for the Carolina Hurricanes heading into Game 2, and what are you most concerned about? Start thinking about it. It's coming up next right here on The Drive.
Do you ever go to the Carolina Hurricanes games and find yourself thinking, what do the players eat before the game? What are their pregame rituals? What kind of music gets them pumped up ahead of the game? How sacred is the game day nap? What's the postgame mood on the team plane? Check out my new podcast, Iced Tea, with me, Megan LaMontagne. I get to talk to people who spill the tea on the Carolina Hurricanes. Listen to Iced Tea in any podcast app or watch the show on the Fan YouTube channel.
What? New scratch-offs are out? That means new chances to become a North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club member.
Yeah, in the Winners Club, I'll reinvent myself. I won't go by just plain Todd. I'll go by Toddrick. I'll get a gold jacket, play my saxophone again. I'll stop and smell the flowers, call my mom more.
Oh, wrap it up, Todd.
It's Toddrick.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $100 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
And we're back talking all things connectivity with Spectrum customers Kev and Melissa. So tell us, how long have you been with Spectrum, and how important is a reliable internet connection?
We've been Spectrum customers since we moved 12 years ago. The first thing we did is sign up for Spectrum Internet.
You get a lease, you get Wi-Fi.
Yes,
immediately.
We need that. We had Spectrum Wi-Fi before our couch got here.
That's true. That's a true story.
I'll sleep on the floor, but I won't go to bed with no internet.
You heard it here. Switch to Spectrum now.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander for FanDuel. The semifinals are here, folks, and that means all the show-stopping action is turning up a notch. Don't miss your chance to bet on all the legendary moments with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel is the best place to find all your favorite player props, and now you can make the smarter play with new performance trends. Want to see if a guy's hitting the over consistently? Maybe they've been flirting with a potential triple-double. Get the latest stats right inside the app and see who's heating up. And once the game starts, that's when things get interesting. You can combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And if you already don't have FanDuel, it's not too late to get in on the action. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul and join today. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, outdoor and home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through May 14th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Behind the net, Martinook. It'll come out. Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington. That's what it sounded like at the end of game 1. Canes lead their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series against the Washington Capitals, 1-0. Game 2 tonight, less than 3 hours from now. Right here on 99.9 The Fan, by the way. You can hear calls like that one from Mike Maniscalco. And right now, to get you ready for the game, in part, right, we're doing a lot to get you ready for Game 2. But in part, we have the Cup check-in with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House. With tonight's game on the road, you can be sure to check out Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs. And I have more details on that. It gets better. It gets better. Game number 2, the official watch party, Carolina Ale House in Cary. There's prizes. There's giveaways. Storm Squad. Stormy will be in the house. There's a lawn party with a 17 by 10-foot outdoor screen, weather permitting. So you can bring a folding chair and help them cause a little chaos. It's all at Carolina Ale House in Cary. So go ahead and check them out for all away game watch parties. For the Cup check-in today, Adam Gold caught up with another former Cane, Shane Willis this time. Here's Adam and Shane checking in.
I keep hearing about Washington will play better. We'll get a better version of the Capitals in Game 2. I assume we will. But couldn't we also get a better version of the Hurricanes?
You definitely could. And I agree with all those statements because Washington will be better, especially to start this game tonight. But the Hurricanes can be better. And where they can be better is in a couple areas. One, if the puck starts going in the back of the net, not many teams hit 5 posts in a game. So continuing to get shot volume, if those pucks start going in, the Canes are better. And then the one area that I'll be critical on would be the power play out of Game 1. In my mind, needs to be better tonight because I think that is where you can sting the Caps early on. Because when teams talk about, we're going to come out, we're going to be better, sometimes they overstep, and we know the Capitals on how they like to play. Do they take an early penalty that the Canes' power play can capitalize on?
I just think Carolina can be, we use this term in soccer, more clinical in front of goal. I just think that there's another level for them to get to offensively.
Yeah, and I think that's the other area that I'm going to look at because the Hurricanes are going to continue to shoot. Everyone talks about, why are they shooting so much? Let's pass it around a little bit more, but the shot volume needs to be there, but I agree with you, Adam, that the traffic around Logan Thompson making it a much more difficult night for him when it comes to not only making first saves, but if he makes the first saves, he's only made it because he's in the right position. He hasn't controlled the rebound, and the Hurricanes capitalize on those type of goals in this game tonight.
And isn't that by design, Carolina's offense works? Why they shoot from all angles and fling pucks on net, which apparently annoyed the ESPN broadcast on Tuesday night, was that when you do that and you have traffic, A, you might get a deflection, but B, it's supposed to create rebound opportunities for guys to get to the front of the net and score.
It definitely does create those things, Adam. The other part that people don't, I guess, analyze the right way and what they see is the more you continue to shoot, now the defensive structure is running around, right? They're chasing pucks, it's ricocheting off, and the Hurricanes are a much faster team in my mind than the Capitals. So they're retrieving those pucks, they're getting to the top, they're shooting again. And if you watch the chaos that creates in a defensive structure, you saw it in Game 1 where the Capitals are running around when they don't get the shots blocked. Now, that turns into where all of a sudden now you make a pass into the slot where Mike Kelly reported after the game in his stat sheets that the Hurricanes had more slot shots than the Capitals, 7-6.
Yeah.
So to say they're wasting things is ridiculous in my mind because you're creating breakdowns in the Capital system when guys are chasing the puck and those loose pucks that the Hurricanes in Game 1 continue to come up with.
Once again, that's the Cup Check-In with Adam Gold, presented by Carolina Ale House. Thank you to former Cane Shane Willis for checking in with this one. If you need a spot to cheer on the Canes, join the Carolina Hurricanes crew at Carolina Ale House's Cary location for away game watch parties. They'll have raffles, prizes, giveaways, and yes, even Stormy will be there. Weather permitting, there'll be a lawn party with a giant TV next to the restaurant. So go ahead and bring out your folding chairs and cause chaos. Carolina Ale House is an official partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Come to Carolina Ale House in Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs or visit carolinaalehouse.com/Canes for more info. And again, thank you to Shane for joining Adam with the Cup Check-In today. No thank you to Jason Tatum for the ladder challenge. Let's go ahead and hit the ladder challenge. Yeah, none of that.
Yeah, well, for one of us at least.
It's still early, but I'm kind of like the Celtics. I'm losing confidence over here in the ladder challenge.
You know, I warned you yesterday. I said, you sure you want to go with Jason Tatum to hit 2 or more three-pointers? I warned you.
The only good part is I'm not the one that was most wrong. Do you see what Paul Pierce had to do?
Oh, he had to walk 20 miles?
Paul Pierce guaranteed a win for the Celtics in Game 2, so aggressive that he said he would walk without shoes in his robe to work today if the Celtics lost. And then, I mean, at least man of his word, he went ahead and did it. All I did,
hey, I respect that.
All I did was roll over a little ladder challenge money on Jason Tatum to hit 2 or more threes. And then he absolutely was in his own brain twisted up like a pretzel for the entirety, at least of the second half. And he went 1 for 5 from 3. Another horrendous night. To be honest, I probably deserved this. I had been flirting with danger in the ladder challenge the entire month of May. Right, I mean, every bet was just it was hitting, but by just the thinnest of margins. So I'm taking my medicine on this one. I'm back down to $10. I'm starting over. Dennis, how did it go for you?
Let's see. Last night I had the Florida Panthers and Toronto Maple Leafs going over 3.5 goals. That obviously hit because they combined for 7.
There you go.
So I'm up to $20.40. I've doubled up my money already.
Before we get too far, I do want to remind everybody in less than 10 minutes now, we'll be taking first goal scorer predictions. So start thinking about who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period. And since we're talking gambling, you could always go find a sports book, sports app, whatever you use, and maybe first goal scorer predictions. If you get them right, they pay out pretty nice. What are you betting on tonight, Dennis? You're in the lead, so you get to lead off.
Going right back to hockey, going to what I know best. Edmonton Oilers, Vegas Golden Knights. Again, defense optional for both of these teams. 3.5. Over 3.5 goals once again. It's a minus 1,000 in this one. Over 3.5 goals. So my $20.40 will turn into $22.44 by the end of the night. So again, minus 1,000. They might have 3.5 goals by 10 minutes into the game.
All right. I mean, Normally, I like to put some witty banter here, maybe a little trash talk, but like I said, I'm like the Celtics right now. My brain is pretzeled. Normally, I don't like betting on teams that I follow, but again, I'm just trying to shake it up today. So I'm going Canes plus 2.5 over Washington.
Okay.
Minus 675. 2.5. I don't know, feels like too much, and I'm just trying to keep it as simple as that. $10 would turn into $11.48. 2.5. In a playoff game, I think it's going to be close. I think all the games are going to be close. And it's different, which is what I need right now. I need different. So Canes, plus 2.5 over Washington. Small gains to start us off again. There you go. That's the ladder challenge. We have a few minutes here before we jump to Canes' first goal scorer predictions and open up the phone lines. So let's do a little cons and cons. Specifically,
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
specifically Hurricanes and Cons. We're looking at Canes going into Game 2 against Washington tonight. What are you most concerned about? What are you most confident about for the Carolina Hurricanes? Dennis, we start with the bad news first. What are you concerned about?
My concern is if Mark Jankowski does not play tonight, does that fourth line have enough size and physicality? Again, if he doesn't play tonight, that's my big concern. Does that fourth line have enough size and physicality if it's Jack Roslovic or Tyson Jost playing on that fourth line tonight? Because eventually there will be a point in time where that fourth line is going to get, quote-unquote, stuck out there against the likes of Alex Ovechkin and others, depending on how things happen during the course of the game. And I feel much more confident if Jankowski's in there as opposed to either Jost or Roslovic.
And they will, Washington will do everything they possibly can to make that happen.
For
and
sure.
At home, they have more autonomy there. Do I hear you then maybe if Jankowski can't go and game time decision, we don't have an update yet. Do I hear you leaning maybe more Jost than Roslovic? Because if you're worried about physicality, no offense to Roslovic, Jost brings a little bit more of the heaviness.
And in terms of a fourth line mentality, Jost fits that better. Though Roslovic is the better player, Jost fits that role better in my mind. All right. But it would not surprise me if Roslovic is the guy chosen because it does give Rod a little bit more flexibility in terms of putting Roslovic on the second power play unit, which is a little bit less ice time for Sean Walker. And it also, if there is an injury in your top six, you know you can bump Roslovic up.
And I'm going to use the thing most often cited with Roslovic.
Knock on wood? No.
He is a 20-goal scorer. Some of those goals were a long time ago.
A lot of those goals were a long time ago.
But he is a 20-goal scorer. My concern is Gostisbehere looking out of sorts in Game 1.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident. Like I'm fairly confident in a veteran. But I've said it a lot. Like, I think Ghost is like under the radar, pretty critical to the Canes' success. I like the way he moves the puck. I like the way he works when he gets power play opportunities. And in Game 1, they survived an off game by Gostisbehere, right? Ghost is kind of, I'll put him in like a good offensive guard on football mode, which is occasionally there is a highlight. Like if he's pulling and he's running downfield and he's not, like there can be a highlight there, but mostly like if I don't notice you, if I'm noticing everyone you're playing with, that means you're doing your job. He's setting you up. He's, I think, really good at a little pump fake push pass that he does all the time. But they can't survive an off game from him too often. Right? Everybody's allowed a couple, but can't do that every game. I just want to see him get back on track after an off Game 1, and I think he will. What are you confident in when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes?
Something that Shane Willis had talked about and that mentioned, and you and I kind of talked a little bit off air about it, the speed of Carolina. Like overall, they're just a faster skating team than Washington. I know we talk about Washington's size and physicality. Well, guess what? Carolina showed physicality is not an issue for them. They're just simply a faster team. Up and down the lineup, they can just simply outskate Washington overall over the course of a series. Not saying Washington doesn't have guys that can skate, that can skate fast, but overall, Carolina's team speed, very few teams can match it.
My confidence, and if you're watching on YouTube, my hands are in the air. I was not on the keyboard. Speed advantage. And I literally wrote down Washington can hit what they can't catch. And I think that was a big part of it in Game 1 was maybe not this drastic, but to get my point across, Game 1 felt a little Tom and Jerry-like, right? Where... And it's not like just a size joke. Like it felt like the Canes were skating around and the Caps were like, arms closing and then there's just dust there and they weren't actually grabbing him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Wile E. Coyote trying to get to the road
exactly.
runner. 100%.
Exactly. It was just, and then beep beep, and they were off to another place somewhere else. And that like if they can keep that up. That's huge because, hey, you're tired. Like, big guys tire out faster. Like, you're just – that'll wear on them in a different way throughout the length of a series. So the speed advantage is just something I'm fairly confident in with the Carolina Hurricanes with the added knowledge that, if you've ever watched Tom and Jerry, if you've ever watched Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner or Sylvester and Tweety – as the half-hour cartoon goes along, the chaser just gets more and more and more frustrated, right? Wile E. Coyote keeps calling in more Acme Dynamite. Like, you just have to keep dealing with more as the show goes along. And that's probably how the series is going to go, right? They're just going to keep bringing in more and more and more anger if you keep making them chase you around. So, yeah. Head on a swivel, I guess would be the way to describe it. Ovi did catch Jarvis once. But Jarvis popped up real quick, right? That like, you didn't get me.
Yeah, he kind of spun off of it a little bit.
No, it wasn't awful, but in their home arena, I'm sure it got a nice little pop, and then Jarvis popped back up, and it was back to hockey. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have a small amount of time before we open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline for first goal scorer predictions. So I will use this time to remind everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Search for it. There are a bunch of videos up there. There's podcasts. There's Canes Corner podcast for all the Canes fans getting ready for today. There's Panthers Playbook. There's a bunch of clips from the drive, bunch of interviews. The Next Up with Paul Ihander, Adam Gold show, and more. It all lives on our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We put a lot of effort into that, so please go ahead and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. And you can find us on just about every social media. Whichever one you live on, just search 99.9 The Fan.
We're almost at 17,000 followers.
I want 20,000.
Yeah.
I want 30,000. But it is a growing community. I get excited when I see the conversations and the comments and things where fans are interacting and doing so civilly and sometimes a little aggressively. But hey, it's the internet. What are you going to get? If you want to join that community, we'd love to have you. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Now let's fire up first goal scorer prediction. Phone lines are open, 919-860-5326. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in now with two pieces of information. Who you think will score the first goal of the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, and in what period do you think they will score it? If you are one of our three official contestants on the call-in line, and you get it right, you will win an Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. The ultimate sim racing experience is at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. It's all located in Cary's McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh. Go ahead and visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. That's apexracinglab.com. If you don't get through on the phone lines, but you still want to show off your hockey knowledge, you can go to that YouTube page I was talking about, find the live stream. Hello, everybody out there in live stream world. You can just comment in those live streams who you think will score the first goal of the game for the Canes and in what period. I also put out a tweet asking for these predictions, so we'll get to those in a second. But first, we need our official contestants to lock it in. We have Patrick and Garner on the phone line. Patrick and Gardner, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I'm going to go with Slavin in the first off a rebound.
Slavin in the first off a rebound. Do you want to give us the why? I mean, obviously Slavin scored the game winner. Are you just riding the hot hand?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the hot hand. I feel like he's going to come in strong to start it out.
All right. Appreciate the call. Patrick, stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you in order to make sure you get your prize if you win. It's actually, it feels a little recency bias picking Slavin after hitting the game winner in overtime. But also he had 5 shots on goal, so it's not like the aggressiveness waited until overtime, right? He was active offensively, so maybe that's the pick from Patrick. Brian in Holly Springs, you are up next. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Give me Martinook in the first period, 5-on-5, and like you said earlier, he's a game 2 player. So you sold me on that.
All right, you made the tease maybe for what I'm going to predict for first goal score prediction. Brian, you and I on the same page. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab some info from you quickly. And finally, our last official contestant is Jonathan in Chapel Hill. Jonathan, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Hey, guys, in the first period, Svechnikov says, I got your pipe music here, and absolutely rings a thunderous shot off of the back post of the cage.
Off the back post. I like that because he rang the post twice, the bad kind.
Yes, he did.
You had that in the first period, just to be clear?
I do.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Dennis will grab that info from you. Svetch, as I said earlier, I put this out on Twitter. Svetch is the popular answer. I'll just let that be known. And matter of fact, let's go on Twitter and see what some of you have said. Svetch in the first. Shout out to Katie. There's a Svetch or Jarvis. They both hit the crossbars twice. That comes from Avery. Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall just feels like it's. Oh, how about this? Zach on Twitter says Taylor Hall with the first goal, but he also scores 2 more for a hat trick. Bold, but I like it. Svetch or Jarvie, Svetch or Jarvie, Jarvis, Svetch, Jarvis. Chatfield from Pete on Twitter. Second period. I did talk to Adam Gold, who hosts the Adam Gold Show before this one every day here on 99.9 The Fan. As we were passing each other in and out of the studio, I said, give me a first goal score prediction. He said Svetch in the second after a scoreless first. So Adam thinks it'll be another rough and tumble, maybe low-scoring first, but then Svetch gets it started for the Canes in the second. Zeke says Svetch. Gary says Svetch. Karen says Svetch. Caniac Annie says Jarvis. There is a ton of Svetch and Jarvis coming in. Nate says Jarvis. Jim Bob says Taylor. Shannon says Halsey and Svetch are due. There is a boatload of Svetch and Jarvis predictions.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those. Even on our YouTube live chat, we have Svetch in the first 10 minutes into the game on a breakaway, Jarvis in the second, Jarvis in the first. We have Gostisbehere actually in the first. Svetch with a hat trick tonight, someone predicted as well. So, yeah, there's all over the place. Actually, Matt said Taylor Hall in the first. The man is due. I would say most said Jarvis, next most said Svetch, next most said Taylor Hall. And that seems like a lot of people are going with they deserve it because they've been doing X, Y, Z and maybe haven't gotten the goals. So there you roll with. Adam went with Svetch in the second. Dennis, who are you rolling with? First goal score prediction. There's actually quite a few people that are going Sebastian Aho in the second. Like Russell just said Aho in the second.
Kate said Jarvis, but she would also like to see Aho.
Of course.
I like I like just asking for it.
STOG, I hope I'm saying that right, said Aho in the second. Pablo said Aho in the first. My man, John said Aho in the second period. I'm going Sebastian Aho on the power play in the first period. He is Mr. Game 2. The stats in history back it up. Mr. Game 2 is Sebastian Aho. Give me on the first period on a power play off a cross-ice feed from Seth Jarvis.
And I'm going to second what actually Shane Willis said to Adam during the Cup check-in. Power play is one of those things that the Canes could legitimately do significantly better from game one. I mean, they had that late power play. You execute a bit better, you don't even go to overtime. Save yourself all that energy and fatigue. So if they score in the first on a power play, I will exceptionally enjoy that. I'm going Martinook in the first. Mr. Game 2. This is dueling Mr. Game 2s. We're going to find out who's right. I think he knocks home a rebound off a Jarvis shot. That's my detail I'm looking for. But it is Martinook in the first, Mr. Game 2, and everybody rejoices because who doesn't love seeing Martinook make plays? Every Canes
Washington.
fan. Oh yeah,
yeah. Them.
I meant of our people. Right? Caps fans aren't our people. Joking, but you know what I mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, Harrison said Eric Stahl blue line bucket. Eric Stahl, that'd be impressive.
Eric Stahl, he's now he's part of the Buffalo front office.
Yeah, no.
Did they mean Jordan Stahl?
Yeah, Russell said that'd be long range for Eric.
That's good. That's a better way to make the joke than I just said facts. The joke is better. I could see Stahl contributing to the Martinook goal. I'll throw that in there
absolutely.
Since we're talking about it. Since Stahl's name was brought up, I'll say that's the universe telling me to add a Stahl assist to the Martinook goal.
They're all on that line together.
Yep. So it'll be Jarvis Stahl getting the assists on a Martinook goal. When we come back, we have a feedback frenzy. We'll hear many of your opinions from around the internet in reaction to conversations we've had. Coming up next, don't miss it.
Is your heating and air system ready for the changing season? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And this year, fellas, give mom something unforgettable from Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. That's right, watches aren't just for dads. Moms love luxury timepieces too. Fox & Bailey has the finest selection of iconic brands, from Omega to pre-owned Rolex, Blancpain, Glashütte Original. And maybe you know your mom very, very well and watches aren't her thing. That's cool. Bailey's has the largest selection of designer and fine jewelry in the area. Think sparkling diamonds, classic styles, pieces that'll make her eyes light up. They have whatever mom is looking for, and you can be the one to bring it to her. Right now, take advantage of their Mother's Day sale, up to 20% off select items in-store only. That's serious savings on something she'll treasure forever. Visit Bailey's Fine Jewelry or the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop in Raleigh's Village District and show mom how much she means to you.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
This hour of the drive brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You don't think the energy was high enough, Dennis? You think we need to raise it?
Let's build up to it.
Puck drop, 7 o'clock.
2 hours and 15 minutes away.
Up there in D.C. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Canes versus Caps. I feel like we should be fist bumping of some kind.
Yeah, we should.
All right, it's time for a feedback frenzy here on The Drive. That means Dennis goes onto the internet. He braves the internet adventures. And he goes exploring, and he brings back the best feedback from all of you. The comments, questions, debates from our YouTube comments, social medias of all kind, and he brings those takes to the show, and we react. Dennis, what did you find on the comment section?
All right, so actually, a couple of people leaving comments regarding the Carolina Panthers. I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers. We'll get into Panthers in a second. The Carolina Hurricanes and the Washington Capitals. And actually, in our YouTube live chat earlier today, Paralyzed Coyote asked, wonder why the Capitals seemed so slow. Are we that much faster than the Canadiens? Or was this game one at home complacency on their part? Maybe they just came out a little sluggish.
Perhaps. I'm not saying, I'm expecting a better Washington team. I don't think that was their fastball. But I don't know if, does complacency make you slow? To me, when you're home complacent, your decision-making might be a little lax, right? Your crispness might, I don't know if it just, lowers your top speed. I think the Washington game plan involve slowing you down with some of their physicality. If you avoid that, you can kind of get away from them, right? Think of it like, you know, I don't know, a fifth grader chasing a third grader at recess. If the fifth grader gets their hands on you, you're in trouble. But if you build a lead, right, you can outrun them sometimes. So I just think the Canes got out in front of them and kept running and kept running and kept running, and the lead just grew.
All right, this one comes from Fallout. Fallout said, the good thing about the Hurricanes taking so many shots in Game 1 is that it keeps the puck deep in the opponent's zone. What they need more is a net front presence to pick up the rebounds and retrieve the puck for a follow-up shot up close to the net.
The beginning of that is part of a great spin zone, right? Because they took so many shots and they didn't go in, that's why their possession in the offensive zone was so high.
That's what they do.
And that's why they were able to tire out Washington or whatever it is. We've been talking about net front presence being a necessity for this team for a long time. And there are guys that they do their best, right? They don't have that traditional net front guy. But, you know, if you look at the Slavin game winner, Jarvis was mixing it up. Stahl was down there. Martinook was down there, and they were all kind of trying. We've seen Stankoven get down there. He's always looking for deflections. I think there's a concerted effort. It's just, you know, if you don't have the dude, you don't have the dude. But, yes, I agree. It's great that they keep getting shots up and they keep keeping it in the zone. There's nothing – you won't hear me complain about that.
This one comes from Radfro. Radfro says, you said it here about the possession. On Tuesday night, the announcers started to almost criticize the Canes for their shot volume. What they are missing is that while we continue to pour on the shots, dump it, cycle, get back to the point, and fire in the puck once again, during those sequences, the freaking Caps are not even touching the puck, which is huge. It is not just about shot volume, not just about shooting the puck. We are literally keeping them from possessing the puck. I don't mind the announcers criticizing us, but some of the points are missing the big picture here.
I think the argument, like, no one is saying you either take a bunch of shots or you turn it over. I think some of the criticism is you could continue possessing the puck and working for a better shot. They're not encouraging you to turn it over, right? The idea being, you know, maybe you take a few less long-range shots and work it in and maybe find a shot, you know, in the slot or a shot a little closer on. But I again, it's part of the system, right? You can't benefit from the system and then get mad when they do the things that make the system work. The system is shots on net, pucks on goal, and good things will happen. And sometimes it's a bit like, you know, slow until the levee breaks. But, you know, if you keep doing the right things, usually good things will happen. Can't be discouraged.
All right, this one actually comes from Steven on our TikTok account.
Oh, shout out to TikTok.
Yeah, so Adam Gold, there's a clip of Adam talking about the Canes win in Game 1. Steven said, good feeling getting a win early on away from home. Would love to see another one coming up on Thursday night, but not mad now that we got at least one on the road.
I mean, you know, one step at a time. So when you're the road team looking at the first two, like, the first goal is just take home ice and back, right? And all you have to do to do that is win one. Now that you've won one on the road, if you just protect home ice, you win the series, right? You've stolen, as they say, home ice. I don't think you stole it. I think you earned it, but you get what I'm saying. But, you know, once you take one step in the right direction, swing that other foot around, right? Take another step in the right direction. Now that you have one, go get two. I talk about raising goals all the time. And you know, big picture, you want to make the playoffs. But then once you make the playoffs, you want to win your division. Once you win the division, you want to have home ice throughout. Like, you keep, once you achieve one goal, you keep going. So, yeah, the goal started with, let's get one on the road. But once you do that, all right, let's get two on the road. All right, let's get three straight, right? You keep building. So I agree with everything the commenter said on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok, by the way. Putting stuff out there a whole bunch.
Next one we have here, we actually had a conversation about an hour ago regarding Bill Belichick and adding a bunch of guys from Power 4 conferences or Power 4 schools to UNC football this coming year. And this one comes from Keith Gainey. Keith Gainey said, Bill Belichick is building up the defense and offensive lines and toughening up the trenches. If UNC gets some notable victories and goes bowling next year, then expect to see some big stars coming.
Ooh, this is good. Notable victories and bowling. Is that the expectation for Bill Belichick?
I don't really. That's a good question. I don't know what UNC fans really truly expect from Bill this year.
To me, you're not talking. Bowling is assumed. Going to a bowl game is that's not even like on the goal list because you're shooting well beyond that. At least that's with the financial investment that Bill Belichick has asked for and received for himself, for his staff, for his front office, for NIL, for everything else. I think in order for everybody to be super hyped at the end of the year, like they were super hyped when he was hired, it's gonna have to be more than bowling. I don't know what the expectation is that would make me excited, but it's definitely more than 6 wins and a notable victory or two. Probably. I mean, I don't know. I almost said double-digit wins there, but I'm not 100% sure there. I don't want to go that far, but I think more likely to get stars to your program, you need to put some in the first round of the NFL draft. If you do that, then all of a sudden transfers will go, yeah, I'll follow there. I want that path.
And money.
Yes.
Money also goes
and that's probably most important. We buried the lead on that one.
Long way. All right, yesterday we talked about the Carolina Panthers picking up left tackle Ike Ekwonu's 5th-year option. Allen says this: I think it was a smart move. Give him 2 years to put consistent games together at a below-market price for a left tackle, and then if he doesn't get better, then guess what? He goes without consequence.
Yeah, for the most part, I'd say 1 more year. Right? I don't think you want to go into like a lame duck left tackle season without either complete awareness that you're out and you're planning for the future in another way, or complete understanding that you're in and that you would probably mean with an extension sign. So I think you can play out this year, then next offseason you're kind of making the decision. Even if he ends up playing on his 5th-year option without an extension, you have to be preparing for the future on one way or the other. I don't want to go into especially if there's no injury or anything this year. If you have 4 years of playing darn near every game tape, and you're still like, yeah, I don't know. He could be. I don't know. Is he moving in the right direction? Did he take a step back? I think it's one of those deals where it's like if you're still asking the question, maybe that's your answer. So I would look for this year to be a definitive answer on Ike Ekwonu.
All right, final one here. We had a conversation yesterday about the national hockey media still doesn't really respect the Carolina Hurricanes. And this one comes from Red Hawk. I know how you are feeling. All the hockey teams in non-traditional markets don't get respect from national hockey media, particularly in Canada, until they absolutely kick in the door, as Florida and Tampa have done.
Yeah. I mean, it's there, right? I've wasted a lot of breath on this, but it's because it does. I like logic. I like reason. I like things that make sense. And I don't know why you have to act like a hockey team is worse because if they walk outside, they can wear shorts. Like that, it just doesn't impact what happens on the ice to me. But for some reason, it just does. And that just is what it is, I guess. And I don't know if you're going to change that, but you're right. There is one way to make everybody change their opinion of you, and it's like by brute force. You have to make them accept it. And the only way to do that is to put a cup over your head and hold it there for a while. So I guess that's your challenge. If you want the media to just talk positively about you in an intermission after you dominate the previous period, you have to be like the reigning champion to do so. It doesn't seem fair, but it's the way it is. Especially because some of the Canadian teams, some of the northern teams, I mean, if they just don't get thrashed in a period in intermission, they're like, look at them, great hockey, unbelievable. I'm like, well, I mean, they're down 2-0, but sure. And it's not like, they were dominating despite it. And it's very frustrating to me.
I'll say this Canes team, if you put them in Montreal Canadiens uniforms, they'd be talking about a lot differently.
Unbelievably so. I did like 5 or 6 different uniforms. If you just put them in there, they'd be everybody's belle of the ball. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I talk about that way too much. I talk about what I'm about to tell you a lot as well, but not too much because you need to know. Not enough, maybe. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, the home of the no-cost loan. Listen, you can watch interest rates. You can watch mortgage rates. You can wake up every day, refresh the app, see what the numbers are, wait 2 hours, refresh the app again, see what the numbers are, and watch them go up or down a half point and try to explain why. Or you can just call up Miller Lending and say, I would like to get a mortgage because I'm in the market, right? Need a new house, moving, new job, bigger, need to upsize, smaller, need to downsize, whatever it is. I would like a mortgage, and I'd like to pay no costs and fees. That way, when rates drop, instead of just agonizing about it, I can refinance with no costs and fees yet again. And I can just lower my monthly rate without all the stress. I can maybe check once a day or once a week, or I can have you advise me, right? Just call up Miller Lending, talk to them about what a no closing cost loan is. If rates are high right now, a little higher than you'd like, and you want to buy down a rate, just how about no? And instead, don't pay costs or fees. Save yourself cash that way. And if and or when the rates drop, refinance, get that lower monthly rate, and come out ahead when you do all the math. They'll do all the math for you. They can talk you through it. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have the starting five coming up next, including something that for Canes fans, if you hold a grudge like I do, may not have been the most fun thing in the world for you. Stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The draft tells me one thing for Bryce Young and the Panthers. It's put up or shut up time for the quarterback. They needed edge rushers. They needed safeties, corners, linebackers. So what did they do with the 8th overall pick? They got the number 1 wide receiver on their board. That is a message to Bryce. You better perform this year or else.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Hear that? That's the sound of digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With instant wins, progressive jackpots, and bonus games right from your phone. It's nonstop chances to win like you've never seen or heard before.
Oh, yeah! Big money!
Visit nclottery.com to get in on the action. Must be 18 to play. See prize and odds charts at nclottery.com/digital-instants for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
The Carolina RV Super Show is coming to you. Join us at any Camping World in North Carolina or South Carolina, May 15th through the 18th, to shop ridiculous discounts on the best selection of new and used RVs in the Carolinas. Tour new 2025 RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Enter to win a new RV and enjoy family fun and on-site activities. Don't miss the Carolina RV Super Show at your local Camping World, May 15th through the 18th. Get all the details at campingworld.com/Carolina RV Super Show.
Adam Golden studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people all the time, every single company that I endorse, it's about customer service. You guys are amazing. Even in a pink belt, you're amazing. What is the philosophy of Aluminum Company?
So for us, it's all about helping customers out, right? We go out to your house, you want to look at windows, and a lot of people don't want to do all their windows at one time. So we're not there to pressure you to do what we want you to do. We just want to come out, have a conversation with you, look at your house overall. We can do an inspection of your house if you want us to look around and see what windows are the worst, or if you need some doors and windows. We put together a package that works for the customer. There's no pressure. We absolutely try to help with financing options and put together a package that works for our customers. And that's our philosophy, is just we're there to help. We're not there to pressure you.
And let me tell you this. from a personal standpoint, everything you just said was true because you did exactly that with me not that long ago. Patrick Day, Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 800-672-4348 or aluminumcompany.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike May. Showers and storms are likely heading into the evening and overnight. There's a slim chance they could be strong to severe, the low 64. Some rain may linger for the morning commute. More showers and storms possible later in the afternoon for the day Friday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bill up 254 points to 41,368. Market update brought to you by the North Carolina Body Armor State Games. The Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is the right station for the Canes Game 2 Stanley Cup playoffs, second round matchup against the Caps. And it is in less than 2 hours now. Just a couple minutes less than 2 hours. We're expecting, or we're scheduled for opening puck drop, and there'll be an hour storm watch with Adam Gold to get you ready for that starting at 6. So you're in the right place. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump to the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, I'm calling an audible here, Dennis.
Oh, okay.
There's something else other than what we planned that it's frustrating me as a sports fan.
All right, what's that?
Have you been following any of this players asking for retired numbers story going on in the NFL?
Yeah, I've seen apparently
Abdul Carter asked to wear number 56 with the Giants,
which is Lawrence Taylor's number. Then he asked about number 11, which is Phil Simms' number. He wore number 11 at Penn State. Phil Simms' family said no.
Cam Ward asked and was granted by Warren Moon number 1 for the Titans, despite the fact that it was retired by the team for Warren Moon's unbelievable contributions. Even numbers that aren't being retired are getting kind of little bit of news here. Jalen Walker, who is a North Carolina native, played at Georgia, drafted by the Falcons, is wearing number 11 for the Falcons.
Okay.
That's Julio Jones. Which hasn't been retired, but you could argue he's the greatest Falcon of all time, and it just seems a little fresh. Here's my only thing. Why? There's a lot of numbers out there. Why? And why do you want the number that somebody else already has retired? Because then I don't think, they can't retire it for you, can they? If it's already retired, it's retired for somebody else. You're going to catch yourself in a lot of weird situations here. So I looked it up. Panthers have 1 number retired.
Sam Mills?
Sam Mills.
Yeah.
That's the issue is teams got too judicious or too generous with their retiring. If every number's gone, what are you supposed to do? Make it more difficult to be a retired number. Because I looked it up, and there's a Wikipedia page, which is all numbers retired. And the teams are in alphabetical order. Carolina Panthers, just number 51 for Sam Mills, as we talked about. The Bears are up next. Number 3's retired, 5's retired, 7's retired, 28's retired, 34, 40, 41, 42, 51, 56, 61, 66, 77, and 89 are all retired.
I mean, that franchise has been around for, nearly 100 years?
The earliest a player appeared in a game is 1925. So, over 100 years.
100 years.
That had their number retired. I don't know. I don't like that players are asking. because it puts the legend in a tough place. Because you don't want to be selfish, right? You of course you can. You don't want to be so high and mighty on yourself that you say no. But at the same time, you kind of earned the retiring there. So I think the team should say no and tell a rookie, I don't know, make 4 All-Pros, and then maybe we can talk to a legend about unretiring their number. Do something first. It seems weird to me, and I don't like it at all.
I don't know. Here's my thing, though. If a number's not retired, it's free game.
Yes, but there is that weird gap where a number's obviously going to be retired, and it's not yet. For example, the Nuggets are in this situation, right? They weren't going to retire Carmelo Anthony's number before he was done playing elsewhere in the league, right? That's weird to retire the number of somebody playing for another team. So they kind of left 15 available, and then they gave it to some random second-round pick, Nikola Jokic. So now Jokic and Carmelo Anthony are both 15. I guess you just have like a joint. You can't retire it now because Jokic is wearing it and he's better than Carmelo Anthony. So they're in a really weird. There's got to be like a shadow retirement for numbers that are obviously going to be retired. You just got to schedule a date like for him to show up at halftime and hold the jersey above his head. Julio Jones is the fact that seems. Come on, you're the Falcons, man. It's Julio Jones. That was number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
The Knicks have yet to lead tonight. Brunson, crossover, top of the key, defended by Holiday. Takes him to the foul line, step back, elbow jumper near side. Knicks take the lead. Jalen Brunson with a step back jumper. 2 minutes left, it's 87-86.
What in the heck is going on with the Boston Celtics? In back-to-back games to open their second-round NBA playoff series against the Knicks, they had a 20-point lead and lost the game. Talk about things that just don't make sense. That just doesn't make sense. That's going to stick with you unless you are unbelievably mentally tough. And by the way, hat tip to the Knicks. Like give them credit. They've I don't know, waited till they got down 20, but then they've played good basketball. Like they've done their part to complete the comeback. But the fact of the matter is, once you're up 20, you don't lose unless you help the other team a bit, either with missing shots that you normally make, poorly executing, bad time management, whatever it is. Boston's got to figure it out. And the weird part about it is, usually these types of things happen until you get over the hump and win a championship. And then after kind of that pressure is relieved and you can go on and play better or play looser in the future. Boston won their championship last year. Now they're playing tight. That's the opposite. Right? To relate it back to what we have going on here in the Triangle, like the Canes have been making the playoffs and winning series and not getting to the Stanley Cup Finals for 7 years. If they got twisted up into a pretzel, I don't think they will, but if they did, it would make a little bit of sense, right? They've got this glass ceiling that they can't seem to work their way through. The Celtics smashed every glass ceiling last year. Now they're coming back and like building new brick walls. And I don't, and that was not a brick joke, no pun intended, but hey, what are you going to do? They did throw up a lot of them if the shoe fits. I don't know. That's why sports, by the way, are kind of awesome. Because the moment you think you have them figured out, no, you do not. Oh, you finally won. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, next step. Oh, Joe Mazzulla, what a great coach. Never mind, smacked in the face with 2 20-point comebacks. You know nothing.
One thing that drives me nuts about basketball?
What is that?
Especially like NBA. That final possession there by Tatum was terrible.
By Tatum and his teammates.
And his
nobody
teammates.
else gave him any kind of help.
Well, I think that's the problem, is that we see so much in basketball. All right, late game situation. All right, ISO for this guy. It's like, well, you haven't been like ISO for this guy all game. And now we're just all of a sudden going to do it when it's needed the most, as opposed to running your best set or running just a set play. Maybe it is to get the ball in someone's hands, or at least have them make the decision with it, whatever it might be. But why is it just automatically default to like, all right, let's give the ball to this guy and you go do something. That's all it is.
Well,
I hate that.
There are throughout the game a lot of ISOs, but the thing that frustrates me is, all right, cool, you're clearing out for Jason Tatum, right? He's your $300 million player. That's what the coach has decided. Cool. You can at least go like set an away screen for a shooter. Just give me like fake hustle, right? Go do the barking dog thing, right? Like do something to draw some attention from the defense.
Have some action that goes with it.
I don't like having 7 guys standing and watching, 1 manned up on your ISO guy and 2 guys in help. Like I don't like that.
That's what I mean. Like during the course of the game, like you don't see that kind of ISO. Yeah, sometimes you see isolation, but like you said, there's some sort of off-ball movement that's coming with it. But, geez, like can we be better? Can we coach better, please?
In the words of Gary Bertier in Remember the Titans, push him, pull him, do something,
grab him, do something.
That's I agree with that. And also, Tatum, that's your moment, right? You are paid $300-something million. Win an ISO.
Or don't give it away.
Yeah, there's that. The possession the previous game was even worse. 4 or 5 seconds left in overtime. You're down. You just have to inbound it. They don't even get a shot up. They throw it, and Mikal Bridges just takes it away. Wildly bad possession. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Let's do that hockey.
It's not just the Canes and Caps going on. There's also the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs going on. Dennis, I know you were excited about it. Toronto, Florida.
Oh, what a game.
Give me 40 seconds on last night's contest.
Is Toronto actually for real? That's the big thing I'm taking away is that Toronto, normally at this time of the year,
just ask a Leafs fan. They are.
Oh, trust me. We've seen it. We haven't won a cup since the 60s. Trust me, they all are fully aware of it. But the fact that a team like Florida, who won their series in 5 games, been to the Stanley Cup Championship 2 years in a row, and Toronto's out skating them. They're being more physical. I mean, the games have just been absolutely fantastic. Both 1-goal games. Toronto winning last night 4-3. I'm like, wait a second. Is this a new Toronto team? Like, have they finally figured it out? These young stars of Nylander, of Matthews, of future Carolina Hurricane Mitch Marner. Like, have these guys figured it out? Like, these dudes are special talents.
It'll be interesting to watch. And then there was the other game that went on last night. Mikko Rantanen now is back-to-back hat tricks. He has 3 or more points in 4 straight games.
Had a natural hat trick last night.
Yeah. He has two separate 1 quarter or 1 period hat tricks in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
He's playing well. Just objectively, you're looking at it. I'm a grudge holder, so I don't like the way it went in Carolina with Mikko Rantanen. So I am not going to root for him or be happy for him or any of that kind of stuff. But you got to acknowledge when somebody's on a heater, and he is on a heater. But I'll say this, as well as he is playing, I think actually justifies our pettiness even more. In each of the last 2 playoff games, right? Each of the last 2 games, which were playoff games, which you would argue, like in playoffs, goals are just harder to come by, right? It's more difficult. Teams are selling out more to stop you. In each of the last 2 playoff games, he has more goals per game than the 13 games he played with the Canes. He scored 2 goals in 13 games with Carolina. He scored 3 in the second period the other day. You're telling me you can do that, and all we got was that other thing you gave us? That's where the frustration comes from.
He had 6 points in those 13 games. He has 7 in the last 2.
I'm not saying that he wasn't allowed to be rattled or that the trade wasn't allowed to surprise him. I'm just saying if you're capable of what you've done in the last 4 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs, you were capable of more when you were in Carolina, and you didn't bring it. So there you go. You're playing well. Where was that? It actually, do you know what it kind of reminds me of? The cinematic classic, Varsity Blues. Have you seen it? Where the dad of Mox, right, played by James Vanderbeek, gets into a measuring contest with another dad, and they play William Tell, right? They put the can on their head, the dads do, and their sons have to throw the football to knock the can off. And sure enough, Mox pops his dad in the face and breaks his nose. And then later on in the movie, Mox in from 30 yards away, drills the mascot head off the mascot, and you see the dad have the realization, like, oh, he's accurate enough to hit something that small from very far. He meant to hit me in the head. He wasn't even aiming for the can on. He's good. His accuracy is good enough. That's kind of us right now. We're going like, maybe he was just, he was genuinely trying. And away from McKinnon, he just doesn't have that kind of game anymore. Now we're seeing him play what he's playing in Dallas, and we're like, nah, he was good enough. He chose not to do that for us. We are Varsity Blues dad in this scenario. And that's why we're mad. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
Jadeveon Clowney released by the Panthers. I think he'll continue playing. I think he'll find somebody out there that'll pay him money to play football. It just didn't make sense with the Panthers. The Panthers completely rebuilding their edge rushing this offseason. There will be brand new guys. DJ Wanham, I guess, isn't brand new, but he really only got to play the second half of last year, so maybe the new car smell hasn't completely worn off. It's going to be a new edge rushing situation. You're going to have a couple rookies. You're going to have DJ Wanham. You're going to have Pat Jones, who they signed from Minnesota on a 2-year deal. That's your main edge rusher. Other than that, Clowney did what he was supposed to do. Showed up, played solid for a year. It was a business, agreement. Jadeveon Clowney was never brought in to the Panthers to be like part of the core that would grow with this team. And by the way, he hasn't been brought in for that for, what is he, like 6 teams in the last 7 years?
Something like that.
He is, which is crazy based on his physical ability. And if you go, one of the all-time great highlight tapes, if you haven't seen Clowney's high school highlight tape, goodness gracious. As a running back, he's like Adrian Peterson in this thing. And then he also has the helmet knockoff against the Michigan running back in college, and an all-time great athlete. At this point, and really over the last 5, 6, 7 years, when you have just a massive need at edge, he can come in and do all right for you. That's what he is. And the Panthers had that last year, and they don't feel they have that massive need this year, so they're going to let him go. Dennis, do you have any reactions to Clowney on the way out?
Not shocked. Some people were surprised by making a big thing of it. I think they were looking to move on from him probably since the season ended back in January. And I think they're kind of waiting and seeing. It's all right, let's see what we actually get in the draft, who we can sign in free agency. And then it's you know what? We don't need to keep this guy. And the fact that after the second night of the draft, when Dan Morgan was asked about it multiple times, and Dan Morgan Euro-stepped the questions about is Clowney going to be back, and he just gave we're going to evaluate our roster and see what's best. I was okay, yeah, he's gone. We knew this was coming.
The reason people are surprised is because Clowney's a big name.
Yeah, that's what he is. He's a big name.
He's bigger in name than he is in production, although he was solid. He's just, former number 1 overall pick, the highlight tapes I talked about. He's famous. Nick Scorton will be the one, I think, tasked with really replacing that role. Second-round pick. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
The one!
Behind the net, Martinook. It'll come out. Right point. Slavin with a chance. They score! They score! In overtime! Jacob Slavin lets it go from the point, and Carolina has taken game number 1 here in Washington.
Canes, Caps, tonight, 7 o'clock, up there in D.C. It is game 2 of their second-round Stanley Cup playoff series. Rod Brindamore spoke to the media earlier today, and he understands the task at hand in game 2 for his squad.
We know how tough it's going to be. It's every game at this time of year, especially, is you're going to have to be good to win, and really good. So it's about staying focused and trying to just regroup. And like I said, what's done is done. You got to get in the moment, and that's the only way to approach it.
right? You have to play really good to win. The hard part is you can play really, really well and still need some luck in order to some puck luck or some breaks to go your way in order to win a game at this time of year. As you know, I think the Canes saw in Game 1, right? They were dominating a large part of that game and not ahead on the scorecard. Matter of fact, they led for a grand total of no time because they didn't take a lead till the overtime period. It is going to be difficult, but this is what you build up for, right? And again, for the second time, I'm always nervous about having to flip the metaphorical switch, right? When teams rest starters near the end of a season and then the playoffs start, I'm always like, this might be the wrong reference, but hey, like my entire family of like who you look towards and as far as all the wives' tales is bald. Right, my grandpa was bald, my uncles were bald, my dad not much hair, and I was preparing my whole life for being bald, especially by the time I'm this age. And you get to the point where like if you buzz it, every time you buzz it, you're like, I hope it comes back, right? And I hope we'll see, right? You kind of prepare yourself for that.
I feel like you're talking about me, but yes, go on.
No, but not specifically. I'm like I said, I still have the thoughts based on my genealogy, but I treat it the same way when somebody like shuts down their engines in sports. Like, hey, at the end of the season, we had clinched everything for the postseason, so we took a little bit of our foot off the gas. I'm always like, hope it's still going when you turn it back on, right? Hope it comes back. And then against out of their control, they had that long break between the first round and the second round, and it's the same thing. I'm like, well, I hope when you turn it back on, it's still there. And so the first game was very satisfying in that I thought the Canes played really well with high energy right from the jump. It just shows that, it's back, right? They're playing well, and they didn't completely lose whatever rhythm they had. Now you got to keep it rolling, right? Now it's Washington's going to make their adjustments, and you have to be right there matching them, adjustment for adjustment. Rod also spoke today to the media about Jackson Blake, a rookie who doesn't feel like a rookie but is a rookie and is skating some super important minutes in some super high-profile lines for the Canes. This is what Rod had to say about how the rookie is handling playoff hockey.
He's still a young kid, but yeah, I think his play certainly doesn't look like he's a first-timer in this environment. The game didn't really change much, and that's really the eye-opening moment kind of thing is, he's not afraid of the moment. We knew that anyway, just the way he played all year, but he's still just a kid.
Do you know, first of all, talk is cheap, right? Rod could say anything there. You know what action tells me everything he just said is true? Jackson Blake was on the ice in Game 1 for 21 minutes and 26 seconds. Coaches talk like who they trust with who they put on the ice. And if you look around, there are other guys that you would expect to Seth Jarvis, 1947. And I'm not saying that says anything about how you think about those two. I'm just saying Jackson Blake is up there near the top of the forwards as far as time on ice. And there ain't a rookie in the world that hasn't earned a dramatic amount of trust that can put up that kind of time on the ice. And that goes for every sport. And in the playoffs, if you're in the game, coach is not looking at you as a rookie. He is looking at you as somebody that's 1.5 years of experience or something. You're not a rookie at this point. And I think that's very, very good news for the Canes. Very, very good news for the Canes. I like Jackson Blake. And I mean, we've talked about it a bunch. I like his ability to win 50-50 pucks. I like his work against the boards. It's not just the creative kind of shot creation for guys on his lines. He's also doing the little things, and that's, again, how you earn somebody like Rod Brindamore's trust. Speaking of, I don't know if we have enough time to fully dive into this, but I want to. Rod Brindamore's reputation nationally is weird to me. I mentioned earlier I was on a radio station up in D.C. They were asking me to help preview, and they asked some questions like Rod Brindamore is almost the boogeyman. They I went to a game where the Canes were there, and oh man, Rod he's an intimidating guy. Like, what's he like? I'm like, he's a hockey guy. What do you mean? He's trusting rookies. How about that? Players love him. I don't know. It's just because he keeps himself in shape doesn't mean he's like a terrifying guy to be around.
I mean, you can tell he's pretty intense when he coaches because he still has that same passion of when he was a player. And I think people are a little bit off put by it because not all coaches do it. I mean, you watch Spencer Carberry in the broadcast. I mean, he's just like, all right, just standing there. Gum falling out of his mouth.
Yeah, but
I mean, but I think a lot of people see that like, whoa, like this guy's super intense. Like, well, he's intense in the moment, but we've talked to him plenty of times, and he's super easy to talk to.
Yeah, and
he's a good dude.
He's one of the only people who, like, within a game of competition, we assume that's what he's like outside the game of competition. Like, you know, there's a lot of stuff coaches do on the sideline that if they did in everyday life would be pretty darn intimidating, but they don't do it because it's in the game. It's different. Like, I don't know. I think nationally he has like a strange fear that he strikes in people, and I'm going like, I mean, I get if he were to get angry and wanted to like fight you, you might want to be intimidated, but I don't know why you would assume that's going to be the case at any point in time, unless you instigate in a way that. In that case, you're on your own. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need to grab some numbers game contestants, but before we do that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. It's that time of year. It's riding season. Weather's absolutely perfect. So, folks, if you're a motorcycle rider or you're thinking about getting on a motorcycle again for the first time, maybe you haven't ridden in several years, I encourage you to go take a motorcycle safety course. Take a motorcycle riding course, because here's what it's going to afford you. You're going to get all those basic skills back. You're also going to get that opportunity to get back out on a bike in a controlled environment and, again, rebuild those fundamental basics of being on a motorcycle. Again, getting a feel of everything that comes with being on a motorcycle. That's something that I did before I started riding, before I actually decided to buy a motorcycle. I took a riding test, got comfortable with all the basics first before I got out there on the road. And that's something I encourage you to do. If you're thinking about riding a motorcycle, buying one at some point, take a motorcycle riding safety course. See if it's the best thing for you. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why you give Law Tigers a call. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they don't get a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs some numbers game contestants. The prize for today's numbers game, $25 Hardee's gift card, 919-860-5326 to play. Again, if you want to win the $25 Hardee's gift card, call in now. We need 2 contestants. The number to call is 919-860-5326. Stick around because the numbers game is coming up.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons at 12:15 and 4:15 for our Cup Check-In. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Adam Gold talks with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup Check-In on 99.9 The Fan. Served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House Cary for away game watch parties throughout the playoffs, or visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We have unlimited data that never slows you down, covered by the Verizon 5G network, and all for less than $30 a month when you get 4 lines. And the best part, we give you a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G when you switch to the 5G Unlimited or 5G Plus Unlimited plan. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
As America's leading business lender, Bank of America is on your corner and in your corner, right here in the Triangle. With $215 billion in business loans and over 3,700 business specialists across the nation, we help businesses thrive so communities prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation. All rights reserved.
The place to be is at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. Come out and cheer on the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier professional women's soccer team, as they take on the Orlando Pride on May 10th. Presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield North Carolina. Get tickets at nccourage.com.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The NBA Conference semifinals are here, and even though we are without a king, no more monarchy in the NBA playoffs, we are still ready for you. And FanDuel, for new customers, $200 in bonus bets await when you place your first $5 wager. You don't even have to win it. How good is that? FanDuel.com/AdamGold. That's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. And again, new customers, $200 in bonus bets when you place your first $5 wager. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know to check you have your phone first, before the cab pulls away.
Hey, thanks, man. No, wait, my phone! Come back! It's got my boarding pass, credit cards, phone numbers, my life! Come back!
Checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And as always, there's a prize on the line. The prize for today is a $25 Hardee's gift card. The contestants for today are going to be Connor in Raleigh and DJ in Fuquay-Varina. We will ask the same question to both. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. That's how we get things started. Connor and Raleigh, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. The question for today is, yesterday we did the worst. Today we're doing the best. What is the best logo, mascot, color scheme combo in all of professional sports? What's the absolute, not your favorite team, but just the best aesthetic?
I gotta go with the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland Raiders. Solid answer. I like it. Any follow-up that you need, Dennis? Nope. All
Nope.
right, we're good
Silver
to go.
and black. Makes sense.
DJ in Fuquay-Varina, you're up next. Are you ready to answer the opening question?
Let's get it.
All right. What is the best color scheme, team name, team logo combo? Like, not your favorite team. We're talking just the aesthetics of it all, the branding of it all. What's the best in all of professional sports?
All right, I'm going to have to go with the Milwaukee Bucks alternate jersey, the green and purple one.
All right, very specific. I used to, when I used to play 2K in college, I used to pick the Bucks alternates a lot. Dennis, which do you like? Do you like the Raiders or the Bucks, specifically their alternates?
Oh, okay. I'm actually looking up the alternates here of the Bucks just to kind of get a look of it.
It reminds me of like the Ray Allen years.
Yeah, it kind of does. That's pretty clean, actually.
Or the Michael Redd
like
years.
the purple and all, the purple and green. Ooh, that's a tough one. 'Cause I actually really do like that purple and green a lot. But it's kind of hard to argue against the silver. I mean, silver and black. I don't know. That's an iconic colorway. It's an iconic logo when it comes to sports. The Raiders are, even though they're not in Oakland anymore. They've been around in 3 different cities. But that color and the logo and stuff still remains. So I'll probably lean towards the Raiders in this one. But yeah, that alternate purple Bucks uni is pretty solid.
All right, there you go. So Connor gets to go first. DJ, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a couple
By
minutes.
the way, the correct answer is the old school original.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Those are good. The starter jacket.
Come on.
That is pretty good. Connor and Raleigh, you get to go first. And DJ, like I said, you'll just have to wait your turn. Connor, you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories are 2021 NFL draft class, so players in the NFL from that draft class. Same thing with the 2011 draft class, NFL players drafted in 2011. NBA players that were at one point or another a teammate of Kevin Durant, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
Let's go with the 2011 draft class.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. J.J. Watt, Houston Texans.
99.
Correct. Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers.
1.
Correct. A.J. Green, Cincinnati Bengals.
18.
Correct. Torrey Smith, Baltimore Ravens.
82.
Correct. Mark Ingram, New Orleans Saints.
22.
Correct. That's that's 3 straight days. If I'm not mistaken, that's 3 straight days of perfect scores. For those of you playing at home, Mark Ingram, darn near any number would have worked. 14, 22, 28. He wore a whole bunch of them with the Saints.
20.5 seconds.
20.5. No record there, but 5 for 5 is 5 for 5. Congratulations, Connor. Perfect score. However, I do have to make the disclaimer. We have had people go perfect score first, only to lose because the next person had a perfect score faster. We'll see if DJ can pull off the upset. DJ and Fuquay Varina, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
All right. If you heard that, the cards are stacked against you, but it is possible. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players drafted in 2021, NBA players.
Let me get that one.
Okay. I like the confidence. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Are you being beamed up into a spaceship?
No, I just picked my son up from school. We're good, though.
All right. Perfect. When you hear the horn, that means your time has started, and we'll get going.
All right, let's go.
Micah Parsons, Dallas Cowboys.
11.
Correct. Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos.
28.
Incorrect. Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers.
22.
Correct. Nico Collins, Houston Texans.
14.
Incorrect. Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos.
29.
Incorrect. Nico Collins, Houston Texans.
Pass.
J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Correct. Javonte Williams, Denver Broncos. Normally 3 is a solid number, but in this case, it's not enough for the win. You missed on Javonte Williams. We were looking for 33, and Nico Collins, we were looking for 12, so you're in the right neighborhood there. But you did get 3. That's a solid number. Not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yes, sir. Have fun for my first time. Appreciate it.
All right. And call back in and try again. Right? Gotta learn. Watch the tape. Come back stronger.
For a first-time performance, 3, that's solid.
Yeah, solid.
Solid
and
number.
it was well executed. He used his pass well. There was good strategy there. Not as good as Connor, though, because Connor went perfect. Connor, congratulations on the 5 for 5.
Thank you.
You are now the winner. You are now the recipient of a $25 Hardee's gift card. So congratulations on that as well. Just stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you to make sure you get your Hardee's.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. There you go. 3 straight days
Let's
of
go.
perfect scores.
Let's go.
I mean, not pressure, but a lot of pressure to whichever one of you wants to call in and play the numbers game tomorrow.
Makes us forget about that offer that we had.
We did. Not today, though. Not today.
Not today.
Today we had 2 solid contestants. I'm not disappointed in anybody today. The driver, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. Perfect score. You want to talk 5 for 5? How about this? Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and customer service, and philanthropy. That's a 6 for 6. Mainer Service Company does it all. Right now, specifically this time of the calendar, it's a great time to start thinking about cooling maintenance. You're going to be working your cooling system a little bit more aggressively in the next handful of months than you have been during the winter months and when it's cooler out. So get ahead of it, right? Call up Mainer Service Company now. Right, you probably see their trucks out and about. They're all over the community. Call Mainer Service Company now and have them come do some maintenance on your cooling system. It'll prevent the big headaches later on, at least hopefully. right? The big breakdowns, when it's 100 degrees outside and you have company over and your air conditioning breaks. You never know when just a little bit of maintenance can take all of that worry off your plate. Give them a call, 919-361-0993 to schedule some maintenance, but also bookmark the number for if and when you really need their help, 919-361-0993. You can always check them out online as well to learn more, MaynorServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got to make picks for Game 2. Canes Caps are coming up in about an hour and a half, a little bit less. So we'll make our picks. We'll make our predictions for Game 2 between the Canes and Caps. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster, and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Make your next tailgate more electric when you plug into a new Ford F-150 or Super Duty truck. Not only do they light up the scoreboard with outstanding payload and towing numbers, with available Pro Power on board, you can turn these Ford trucks into mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See owner's manual for important operating instructions.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
The following is a paid advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Have you or your loved ones been injured in an accident that was not your fault? Listen up, because you need to call the Legal Help Center. They handle all types of accidents, from car accidents, motorcycle, DUI, rideshare, to workplace injuries, slips and falls, and many more. Legal Help Center was created to be a reliable resource, connecting injured victims to local area attorneys with experience in your accident. Legal Help Center representatives are ready to answer your questions and provide you a free consultation. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. If you've been injured from an accident that was not your fault, you need to call. Get your life back, know your legal rights, and get the financial compensation you deserve. Let Legal Help Center connect you with a law firm who can answer your questions. Call Legal Help Center for a free consultation. 800-438-8080. Speak to a live agent now. 800-438-8080. 800-438-8080.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This hour of The Drive brought to you by the Body Armor State Games. Body Armor State Games are coming this June to Greensboro. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Athletes of all ages and skills can register now at bodyarmorstategames.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes Caps, Game 2 tonight. Energy building, maybe nerves tingling a little bit, maybe little butterflies in your stomach. That's appropriate. Hour and 15 minutes till scheduled puck drop between the Canes and the Caps. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. In about 15 minutes, we'll be turning over the station to Adam Gold for Stormwatch from 6 to 7, and then puck drop shortly after that. So keep it tuned right here. That's what I'm getting at. Keep it tuned right here and be ready for an exciting night of playoff hockey. To continue getting you ready for that, I thought we'd make our picks a little bit here. I have some prop bets in front of me that I like. I made 6 prop bets in Game 1. I came out 1.5 units ahead. Shout out to Logan Stankoven for an anytime goal scorer.
Yeah.
We also, during making our bets, Dennis kind of set some numbers and we make some predictions on the spot. So, Dennis, start lining them up.
Okay, so last time we did ask you a prop on Frederik Andersen. Was over-under of saves made. Now, the over-under last game was set, I believe it was 21.5 or 22.5 for saves made for Frederik Andersen. The over-under, once again, set at 22.5 saves for Freddie Andersen. You go on the over or under?
I'm gonna go full Charlie Brown with Lucy holding the football.
Yeah.
Because luckily when you place a bet, you don't lose more for being more wrong. You're just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the over last game, and he only faced 14 shots, let alone. Yeah, I'm taking the over. I think you're gonna get a more aggressive, more shot happy Caps team. I also. As much as I think the Canes system and the Canes talent is impressive in possessing the puck, I don't see some of those numbers being as skewed just because, it's tough to do. So yeah, I think he'll be over that. I'll take the over again, and hopefully I am swinging and a missing and landing on my back, because I think it would be awesome if there was only 14 shots towards Freddie again.
Okay, well, what about the over-under for Logan Thompson, Washington Capitals netminder? Over-under set at 26.5. Made over 30 saves in the last game.
I mean, it seems high. I mean,
it's Canes we're talking about, though.
Yeah, that's like in my real betting, I'm going to stay away from this just because I feel foolish saying like, yeah, definitely 30 saves. But yeah, I would take the over there. I would lean there because I just think the Canes are going to continue firing away. Their speed advantage allows them to continue getting looks. And I'll actually throw this out there. I don't think the Caps can physically block as many shots like prior to getting to Thompson like they did in the last game. They were taking one for the team left and right. So, if just a few of those get through, then it's even more shots on goal. So, yeah, I'll take the over there, but I will not, just in the interest of full disclosure, for those of you that tail bets, I will not be putting my own money on that one.
Okay, someone who actually didn't have a shot on goal last game was Jackson Blake. Over under set at 1.5 for the young rookie.
Interesting. I think I'm leaning under there. Who's your Mr. Game 2?
Sebastian Aho.
I think Aho was more of a setup guy. I think today he's gonna be hunting for his own, and that obviously means less shots to go around on that line. So, I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see Blake fire away, but if he's setting up other guys, I'm okay with that as well. So I'll take the under, and again, hope I'm wrong.
All right, well, under 1.5 is plus money at plus 145.
My rule here for the props is I only allow myself to place plus money bets.
Okay, well I respect that. All right, over under shots on goal. Alex Ovechkin set at 3.5. Over is actually plus money at plus 115.
That's better. I actually have it down here. Earlier today, I had to tease it to 4 or more to get plus money. It was plus 105. That was this morning. So if I can get it at 3, I'm in there. That's one of the props I like.
So yeah, over 3.5, which means you still got to hit 4, I guess.
Oh, I thought you were saying 3 or more. Okay, never mind.
No, 3.5.
Then it's the same. So actually, I get a little bit more money. I got plus 115 instead of plus 105 like I had earlier today. Yeah, I think Ovechkin is one shot on goal from Ovi yesterday is not how Washington draws it up, and I don't think they will allow that to happen again. I don't know how quality the chances are, but I do think he will force it, right? Like he'll volume it to get a couple shots on goal. So I'm taking the over on Ovi.
Okay, your guy Jordan Martinook, anytime goal scorer plus 500, and a first time scorer or like the first goal scorer of the game plus 3,000.
Ooh, I didn't realize it was that high.
Yeah.
I got Martinook as an anytime goal scorer plus 550 earlier today.
Yeah, it's down to plus 500.
Probably because so many people are betting on. They realize he's the real Mr. Game 2.
Okay.
I have Martinook plus 550 already locked in. Plus 3,000 first goal scorer. That's a little tempting now.
It is.
That's a little tempting.
Put
now.
$1 on that.
That's a little.
You know what?
A little tempting. That's a. What's the Office fans? Kevin at one point says like, if you give me 10,000 to 1 odds on anything, you have to take that bet. Plus 3,000 is getting close to like anyone that skates any significant amount of minutes as a forward. If you get plus 3,000, I mean, they'd have to be pretty. It's tempting. But I didn't have that on my original list, so I'll just go anytime goal scorer plus 550.
Okay. Goal total between the whole game, between both teams, over under 5.5. The under is plus 110. So the over 5.5 is a minus 130. So the over 5.5 goals is favored.
Part of me thinks I have to go over there. I think all of the posts being rang and like I think there's enough there last game that if we regress to the mean, there'll be more goals. I don't think we're looking at another 1-1 overtime. I have some other here. Let me float these at you and see what you think.
All right, hit me.
Jordan Staal, anytime goal scorer. Plus 650.
Plus 650?
That's what I had this morning. That just seemed rich, right? And if I like Martinook to be buzzing, that means shots taken, rebounds, and things. So I put a little on both Martinook and Staal separately as anytime goal scorers.
Anytime, yeah, plus 650. I mean, that's.
And then once I did that, you can see how I built my card here.
That's tempting.
Once I did that, Jarvis 1 or more assists is plus 130. And I figured if I'm betting on Martinook and Staal to score goals, Jarvis has to be involved, right? So I threw, and it's plus money, just 1 assist for Jarvis. So I tossed a couple shekels on that one.
Strictly assists or just points?
Assists. It has to be assist.
Plus money on assist, yeah.
I lost on this one in game 1, so I'm chasing my money a little bit. Svech 4 or more shots on goal. He had 3 in game 1. I had him for 4 or more. I think he's more aggressive in this one than he was in the last one. So plus 175, and this is also me like putting that energy into the world. Svech, I want you to be aggressive. So me saying it out loud, hopefully the universe rewards me for that one.
Okay, he's averaging 2.6 shots per game.
Yeah, but I want him more aggressive than that.
Yeah.
And I think the game calls for it. Canes over 3.5 goals scored, plus 130. That's the same thing, regressing to the mean. I think they're due some puck luck after 2 goals in the first. And then Canes minus 1.5 goals, right? That's the same thing we're always asking for, right? Win by 1 and get the empty netter to cover. Plus 190 when I locked it in earlier today. So those are my bets. We'll see if I can stay ahead. I was up 1.5 units after game 1. Dennis, final score prediction, quickly.
4-2 Carolina.
It's probably right down Main Street, but I'll be there with you. 4-2, based on all the predictions I made. 4-2 Carolina. One of them's an empty netter. It's 3-2 till the end. And that's where we'll leave it. And we'll pass things off to Adam Gold for Stormwatch coming up at the top of the next hour for a playoff version, which means hour-long Stormwatch, who will take you right up to puck drop at 7 o'clock. Game 2, it is a pivotal game 2 where the Canes are looking to take a commanding lead, 2-0, and the Caps are looking to stave off.
Stave?
Yeah, I just used all of the cliche words about 7-game series.
What was your goal? What was your score prediction?
4-2.
4-2.
But with the added caveat that I think these games are going to be close. I don't think anyone's going to run away with one of these games. Although probably one of them might be a little. But I think it'll be 3-2 late and then empty netter.
Give me your empty net goal scoring prediction. Who gets it?
That's empty net Svetch, man.
Oh,
Empty net Svetch.
Going Jarvis.
He's also a notorious or a prolific empty net scorer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the playoffs. We've been talking about it, right? You get more opportunities there. Teams are more aggressive pulling goalies. So that's the way we'll look at it. And we will be here tomorrow to round out the week and recap the game. Looking forward to it. We'll be here at 3. Subscribe to our YouTube. Enjoy Adam and Stormwatch. Enjoy the game. See you, everybody.
The Adam Gold Show.
I'm like legitimately emotional about this. To watch the handshake line at the end and to see Pesce and Slavin and Stahl and Aho and Brindamore. I wanted to just have a camera on Brett Pesce. I thought it was interesting that there was a lot of love for Dougie Hamilton. Even Eric Haula. Aho and Haula were talking like they were old buddies.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Prescriptions require an